This is the third video in this series. I'll be solving General Studies 2 paper of UPSC Civil Service Preliminary Examination of year 2015. Except for the comprehension type of questions, all questions will be discussed in detail with detailed solution. So I have solved 2013 and 2014 CSAT paper in the previous two videos. If you are interested, you can check that out. In case if you have any doubt regarding any question or concept or solution discussed in this video, please comment under this video. I will try to address it. I hope this video will be helpful to all. And let's begin. First question. 12 people form a club. By picking lots, one of them will host dinner for all once in a month. The number of dinners a particular member has to host in 1 year is. So in this question, the person one person is picked from a 12-member club in random, and the question asks the number of dinners that a particular member has to host in 1 year. So in a year, 12 times they pick. So if you say there are 12 people numbered 1, 2, 3 to 12. So say we are talking about person 2. So what if he's never picked in this 12 random lots? So 0 is a possibility. So from 0, every possible combination up to 12, 0 to 12 is possible. That is, if he's never picked in the random picking process, it will be 0. And what if he's chosen every 12 times? So every 12 times he is chosen, and what if he has to host the party for host the dinner for all. So any number from 0 to 12 can be the answer. So clearly the solution is D, cannot be determined. So I hope you understood. There is no other condition that narrows down the number of times a person will have to host. So if it says once a person is picked, he will never have to host in that year, then the possibilities are 0 and 1. So either he will be chosen or not. So it narrows the possibility of from 0 to 12 to 0 to 1. Still, we cannot say for sure that whether it is 0 times or 1 time. So no such condition is given. So it could be from 0 to 12. Any possibility, any number could be the number of dinners a particular member has to host. Anyway, that is a solution to question 1, D. So moving on to the next question. Question 2. An automobile owner reduced his monthly petrol consumption when the prices went up. The price consumption relationship is as follows. So price in per liter is given 40, 50, 60, 75. Monthly consumption in liters 60, 48, 40, 32. So as price increases, the consumption is decreasing. If the prices goes up to 80 per liter, his expected consumption in liters will be. So here from the data given, we have to find out in a relationship, that is, as the price increase, the monthly consumption is decreasing, but in what relationship it is decreasing, that we have to find out. So commonly, if you think about it, usually what everyone does is they will try to their monthly allocation for travel is a constant, say 1,000 rupees, and if the petrol prices goes up, then their consumption decreases because of this, right? If it was flexible, and if their monthly allocation for petrol is variable, then as the price goes up, that person will still fill the same fuels for higher prices, and it won't be an issue. His monthly consumption will not go down. So if the price if the price of the petrol as the price of petrol goes up and if his monthly consumption is going down, that means probably his monthly expenditure, monthly allocation for travel, that is total money he spends for the petrol, will be a constant. So we could easily check that. So monthly consumption in liters into price will give that total amount he spends for petrol. So if you see, it is 60 into 40, which is 2400 rupees, right? And there is a very easy case here that we can use. So when the price of petrol is 40, he spends 60, he consumes 60 liters. And when the petrol price went to 60, he consumes 40 liters. So 60 into 40 still 2400. So if you can check for these two if you want. That is 48 into 50. So 48 into 50. So 48 into 5, 40, 24, which is also 2400. 48 into 50. So he is spending 2400 rupees as a constant amount. So in that case, when the petrol price goes to 80, so 80 into x, or 80 into x is equal to 2400, or x is equal to 2400 by 8 is 30. So here 30 is that answer. So this is in case if this was not the relationship, we should find out some other relationship, like if it increased by 10%, is he reducing by 10% or something else. But here the relationship was straightforward. It is a common idea that his spending allocation, spending for the he is spending a constant amount for the total petrol consumed. So yeah, so that is the solution to question 2. A is the answer. Sorry, there was a mistake when I wrote here 2400 by 80 it is. So instead I wrote it as 8. So it is 80, which gives 30 as the answer. That was a careless mistake. Okay, anyway, moving on to the question 3. So consider the figures given below. And so 4 figures is given. To fit the question mark, correct answer is. So if you check, you can quickly separate these two into different forms. So what happens, so you can first see what happens to the triangle. So first triangle is upward direction, then it goes to the right side, but the direction reverses. Then it goes to bottom, but direction reverses, and it goes to left side, right? But the direction reverses. So it goes from here, then here, then here. So next will be, it will go to this direction, but the direction will reverse. So the triangle's position will be towards up, but in the left side. So if you see, you can eliminate C and D. In both A and B, the triangle is in the left side and in the upward direction. Okay, that is settled. Now what happens to this figure? This figure is getting rotated in the clockwise direction. That is, so you see, sorry, okay, now this is getting rotated in the clockwise direction, right? So this square comes here, and this dark ball comes in the downward direction, and this goes this here, this goes here, and this goes here. That is what happening. So similarly, in the next figure, it is getting rotated like this. So rotation, anti-clockwise rotation is what is happening to that part. So in that case, if you see from the fourth figure, it will get rotated like this, and the dark circle will come in the bottom. Okay, and so the square will be in the left. If you rotate it, if you see, the square will come in this side, dark circle will go, and empty circle will come in the right side. So this, so we already found out the triangle will be like this. So if you see, that is option A is the correct answer. So even though I took time to explain, these questions can be answered within few seconds. So these are time saver questions. Make use of it. So this is the solution to question 3. Option A is the answer. Next question. Question 4. Consider the following matrix. A matrix is given. What is the missing number at question mark in the matrix? That is the question. So in such questions, the approach should be look for any number that you are familiar with, any pattern that you are familiar with, and try to see whether any relation, you can come up with any relationship and check whether that holds true for other elements. So here 6 is 3. If you see 3 into, if you 3, we can see 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 into 2 is 6. These are common relationships, and the moment you come to the next element, you can see 8 plus something, it is difficult for that plus to come here. So 8 into something is 56. So 8 into 7 is 56. So if you compare these two, it looks something like, now it is looking something like x into x minus 1, right? So see whether this relationship is true for next elements. So 10 is 10 into 9, right? 10 into 9. So 10 into 9, 90. So that is true for the next element. So for 2 into 1, which is 2, so that is true. 1 into 0 is 0. So that x into x minus 1 relationship holds true for other columns also. So we to find answer, x into x minus 1 has to be 20. So it is 5. So if you look at the options, you can clearly see 5. If x is 5, 5 into 4 is 20. So correct answer is A. So the solution to question 4 is A. This is how you approach in the exam hall. There is a good chance that you panic when you see such questions, and in that panic you will not be able to find what relationship it is, and you since there is a lot of numbers, so focus on one or two numbers that you are familiar with, and see whether any relationship is there between that. Instead of looking all the numbers, just focus on one or two, so that you can quickly find some relationship and see whether that relationship works in other elements also. Okay. Moving on to the next question, question 5. What is the missing number x of the series 7x 21 31 43? So we have to find the missing number here. We'll just first write down the numbers 7x 21 31 43. So there is a pattern. If there is a pattern, there is 7 here and 21. So we know that 7 into 3 is 21. But you see the numbers that is following 21, it is not divisible by 7. So it is less likely to be multiplication that involves 7. So there is something else. So if you see these two numbers, the difference between these two numbers is 10. That is very clear. Right away we can see the difference between these two numbers is 10. Then the most obvious thing to do is check whether what is the difference between these two. So 31 to 41, then 2. So the difference is 12. The moment we see something like this, if the difference has some connection, that is here it is a difference of 2, then we should check whether there is a pattern like that. What if the difference between x and 21 is 8, and what if the difference between 7 and x is 6? So we should see whether that fixes. So 7 plus 6 is 13, and if you check, 13 plus 8 is 21. So that is the relationship given, and we can say the answer is 13 here. That is option C. That is, if you write 7, 13, sorry, 21, 31, 43, the difference between these consecutive numbers, that is second number minus first, third number minus second, similarly if you take, you get the difference as 13 minus 7 is 6, 21 minus 13 is 8, 31 minus 21 is 10, 43 minus 31 is 12. That is the difference between the if you take the difference between the consecutive numbers, that is going in a series with a difference of 2. So 6, 8, 10, 6, 8, 10, 12 is a series with the difference of 2. So that is the relationship. In exam hall, try to look for patterns like the way I discussed now. So 7 and 21 is something that we can see whether 7 into 3, since 7 into 3 is 21, we can see whether any such combination is possible. So if that is not the case, then go see whether there is any difference involved, there is any relationship between the differences, or whether the squares, any squares are involved, difference of squares. So there are some fixed patterns. So if you are not intuitively able to come up with such possible patterns, the only way to go is do as much questions as possible before the exam, so that even in that pressure in the exam hall, you will be able to see which pattern they are asking for. If it is too difficult, you can even leave the question. If it is if it is an easy question, make sure that you have enough practice to not miss out that easy marks. Okay, that is the solution to question 5. C is the answer. Moving on to the next question, question 6. 4 cardboard pieces of specific shapes are shown in the following figure. 4 pieces are shown. Which one of the following figures given can be found by joining these pieces together? So 4 options are given. You just look at the options, you can right away say the answer is D. The reason is, see, if we see these 2 pieces, that is the 2 rectangles, you can see this is like shaped like this. So it has to be a rectangle in the shape of a rectangle with 90 degrees. Okay, it cannot be like this. It won't bend like this. So since this angle will change, and here the angle is 90 degree. So if you see in the options, all these options have this bent figures for the rectangle. That is, this angle is not 90. It is a bent figure, right? It's like this. Instead of this, it is like this. So here, even here, it is cut. The shape is cut. It is not a rectangle. Again, it is somewhat the length, and it is not 90 degree, and the length and breadth are different. So that cannot be the case. Here also it is a parallelogram and not a rectangle. Rectangle should be like this. Instead, it is a parallelogram. It is like this figure. The only option which has 90 degrees and in the shape of rectangle is option D. And if you see, the triangles is arranged in that pattern. So this triangle, if you see, it is just tilted in this direction and kept here. And this triangle is again tilted in this direction and is kept here. So that is possible. So the triangles can be arranged in that manner and rectangles are there in the figure. So option D is the answer. So you can right away say, if you notice that in all other options the rectangle is slightly bent or disfigured. So it will take hardly 4-5 seconds to answer this question. It's a time saver question. Make use of it. So the solution to question 6 is D. Moving on to the next question. Question 7. In a test, a candidate attempted only 8 questions and secured 50% marks in each of the questions. If he obtained a total of 40% in the test and all questions in the test carried equal marks, how many questions were there in the test? So looking at the figures, there is an easy way in solving this question. Since he scored exactly 50% marks for 8 questions, it's equivalent to scoring full marks for 4 questions, right? 50% for 8 questions means 4 questions full mark. So for 4 questions, he scored 4 questions full marks, which is equal to, it is given 40%, that is 40% of total marks, say X. So that is irrelevant, so we take it as X. So for full X marks, how many questions should be there? It is easy, 4 by 4.4, which will become 10 questions. So right away we can mark the answer as B. So if there is any doubt, we'll do it in the proper form. So say there is X questions, total X question which we have to find out. And for that X questions, say there is 100 marks. Since there is no mention of any marks, and it is all mentioned in percentage, we can take any number. So we take 100 marks for X questions, and it is given. So what is one? How much mark will be there for one question? It is 100 by X. 100 by X for one question. Marks for one question, right? So so it is given that he wrote, he got 100 by X into 8 question, only scored 50%. So it is 0.5, 50%. So if while doing this method, if it is, even if it is 20%, 25% or anything, we can easily plug it in here. So it is 0.5 here, 50%, and it is given, it is 40% of total marks. So we assumed the total marks is 100. So 40% total marks is 40. So we can now solve for X. Now if you solve for X, we will get X is equal to, if you this cancels, 40, 10, 10, 4, 2. So 0.5 into 2 is 1 into 10. So X is equal to 10. So we get the same answer. In case this logic doesn't strike, you can use this logic. So since it is given 50% and 40%, easily we can mentally calculate and arrive at the answer at a very fast pace. So within few seconds we can answer this question. This is a relatively easier one. So in case if you didn't understand, if you are not able to do it in this manner, it's okay. Just take X as the total number of questions, assign some marks, and do it in this manner. It won't take that much time here also. Anyway, solution to question 7 is B. Moving on to the next question, question 8. The father is 9 times as old as his son, and the mother is 8 times as old as the son. The sum of father's and mother's age is 51 years. What is the age of son? Let's first call the father's age as F, and mother's age as M, and son's age as S. In that case, father is 9 times S, and mother is 8 times son's age. Sum of the father's and mother's age, F plus M, is 51. So we can just substitute 9S plus M, 8S is 51. Okay, so we get 17 as 51, and 17 into 3, s is equal to 3. So this is fairly simple question. Option, the correct solution is D, 3 years. So that is the solution to question 8. Moving on to the next question. 4 persons A, B, C and D consisting of 2 married couples are in a group. So there are 2 married couples here. Both women are shorter than their respective husband. So I will just note down what is given. 2 married couples, husbands taller than wife. I just note it with that. A is the tallest among the 4. So I will just mark the categories as husband and wife. And I'll just, before reading the entire statements, I will just look what the question is. In this context, which one of the following statement is not correct? So it is not correct. Whenever there is a question of not correct, it is in the exam hall, it is better to mark it in or underline it so that we won't miss that. They are asking for not correct. Okay, then A is the tallest among the 4. So since husband, it is given that the women are shorter than their respective husbands, the tallest person has to be from the husband group. Why? If we take A, B are couples and C, D are couples randomly, B, it is, we know that A is greater than B and C is greater than D. So compared to B, A is it's taller. So if if you say the tallest person is D, it cannot be true, since here we know that B is taller than A and say D is taller. If you say D is taller than A, that is possible. But if you say D is the tallest person, then we know that her husband is taller than her. So C will be taller than D and it cannot be true. So the tallest person will be from the husband group only. Similarly, the shortest person will be from the wife group only. Since we can always, if we say a male person is the shortest, that will be false, because there are only 4 people and all are married, and so his wife is shorter than him. So the shortest person will be from the wife group and the tallest person will be from the husband group. So here it is given A is the tallest among the 4. So we can say that A is from the husband group. Then C is taller than B. So it is given C is taller than B. Okay, we'll use that information later. C is taller than B. Then D is B's brother. So with this information, we can say D is B's brother. So D is a male person. So D will be from the husband group, since all 4 are married. There are 2 husbands and there are 2 wives. So D is B's brother, and since D and B are brothers and sisters, so they cannot be couples. So the only option left is B has to be A's wife and C has to be D's wife. So we got the relationship. So D and B are brothers, A and B are married. Okay, and D and C are married. So this is the relationship. Now we will look at the statements. All 4 have family ties. Yeah, it's true. Since B and D are brother sisters, and all are so B is married to A, so D is related to A. C is married to D, so C is also related to A. Everyone is related. So all 4 have family ties is a true statement, and since it is asking for not correct, this cannot be the answer. So B is the shortest among the 4. Since we said that the shortest person, we already explained shortest person will be from the wife group, right? And it is given C is greater than B. So among the wife group, B is the shortest person. So B has to be the shortest person among all. So B is the shortest among the four is a correct statement, and it is not. So since it is asking not correct, this cannot be an option. So the other, so C is taller than D. So we already know that C and D are married, and C is the wife. So it is, since it is given woman, both the women are shorter than the respective husbands. So C is taller than D is a wrong statement. So it is, since it is asking not correct statements, so this is the correct answer to question 9. So we will just check D. That is not necessary, but we will just check the last statement. A is B's husband. So A is B's husband. That is a true statement. So this is also not the correct answer. So the correct solution to question 9 is C. C is taller than D. Moving on to the next question. Question 10. Consider the following statements. A man had a wife, 2 sons and 2 daughters in his family. A man had a wife, 2 sons and 2 daughters in his family. Second statement, the daughters were invited to a feast and the male members of the family went out to take part in a picnic. The third statement is, the man's father did not return from his work. So which of the following statement is true? So if you see, man had a wife, 2 sons and 2 daughters in his family. So there is a man, wife, 2 sons, 2 daughters. And second statement, all 2 daughters were invited. 2 daughters were invited to a feast, and 2 male members of the family went out to take part in picnic. So male members, M and 2S, went out to picnic. So the only person left in the home now, as of now, is wife. Now the man's father did not return from his work. From that statement, it is clear that from the first and second statement, it is not sure which all members are there in the family. So whether the man's mother, man's father, man's cousin, it is just given the man, about man, wife, his son and daughters information. We are not given any other information. Third statement does give an information that man's father is a working person and he has not returned from his work. He is at work. So only the man's wife was left at home. We cannot say for sure, because in this statements it is not explicitly given. It is a 5-membered family. 4, 5, 6, 7-membered family. It is not given it is a 7-membered family. Maybe the man might have his mother at home. So it is not sure. It is likely that man's wife was left at home. That is true. It is likely that man's wife, it is not saying only man's wife was left at home. Since from the given information we can assume that it is a possibility that his wife was left at home. None was left at home is a very definitive statement. To say that for sure, we need more information. Now from the given information, there is a possibility that wife is left at home, and whether wife has gone somewhere else, we are not sure. Without that information, we cannot say none was left at home was the answer. So more than one person was left at home. From the given information, only 7 people are mentioned, and only wife is there. Is only the chances are the only wife is left at home. But maybe there may be more members to the family, and maybe man's mother was left at home. We are not sure. We don't know that information. We don't have that information. So we cannot say for sure. It's only likely. So B is okay. If it was a definitive statement, we will not be able to say that also. If it was like the man's wife was left at home, that is a definitive statement. So we can say it is likely that man's wife was. It's a possibility. That is a possibility. Yeah, okay. So solution to question 10 is B. Next question, question 11. Geeta says, Naresh has become a better boxer since he started meditation. Radha replies, impossible. A boxer's most important asset is his aggressiveness. Radha's statement reflects her belief that four options are given. Meditation tends to make a person less aggressive. Meditation has little or no effect on the person who practices it. Naresh was a poor boxer earlier because he was not aggressive enough. Naresh would not have taken to meditation as he was a boxer. So, in questions like this, remember that there will be options that may sound logical to you, but that cannot be conclusive from the given statements. You cannot add information to the given statements. We have to answer with whatever that is given. You cannot bring in your logic or knowledge outside the statements. So you just read the statements, and from that statements what can be concluded is the answer. So here, since Radha's statement reflects, Radha is implying, the since he started meditation, there it is impossible that he has become a better boxer because meditation. She is implying that meditation has a calming effect or makes a person less aggressive. So it is impossible that Naresh starting meditation has helped him anyway. So that is what Radha is implying. So meditation tends to make a person less aggressive is the correct answer. So we will just check B, C, D. Meditation has little or no effect on the person who practices it. So this is this could be true. If Radha had this thought, then Radha may say when Gita says Naresh has become a better boxer since he started meditation, Radha may say impossible. That is true. But look at the following statement. She says a boxer's most important asset is his aggressiveness. So she would not have said that if B was her belief. Why? If meditation has little or no effect on the person who practices it, then this statement was not at all needed. Since if meditation has no effect, then why should Radha say aggressiveness is a boxer's main asset, and she must be thinking that aggressiveness is somehow affected by meditation. If somehow affected by meditation, only she will say that, right? If in a negative way. So she is trying to justify her impossible statement with a follow-up statement, which saying a boxer's most important asset is his aggressiveness, indicating she thinks meditation somehow negatively affects aggressiveness. Otherwise, she would not have added the statement. She would have said impossible, meditation has no effect, or just impossible. If it was just impossible, meditation, if she stopped with just impossible also, then this might be a possibility. Now, this is not a possibility. No, third option, if you look at the third option, Naresh was a poor boxer earlier because he was not aggressive enough. So this information is not at all present in the given statements. Naresh was a poor boxer earlier. So that is not at all included. And even he was, because he was not aggressive enough, all that information is not at all present in the conversation above. So this is outrightly false. If you see the next option, Naresh would not have taken to meditation as he was a boxer. This sounds very grammatically correct and logically correct statement to a third person who is not listening to this conversation. If we just say Naresh would not have taken to meditation as he was a boxer, this fits well with Radha's idea that meditation tends to make a person less effective. But it is Gita has already said that Naresh has become a better boxer since he started meditation. So if this could be true only if this impossible, if Radha had meant this impossible, and if it was following up with a statement impossible, Naresh would never take meditation or something like that. Otherwise this statement, Naresh would not have taken to meditation as he was a boxer, is contradicting to what Gita said. Gita has said he has started meditation, so it is not um, going with Gita's going along with the Gita statement. So this option is also false. So you don't have to complicate this much. Just stick to what is given in the in the statements and see what is the most fitting answer is. So you don't have to go deep into it and see what is logical. If you there is a good chance that if you skim through it and do it very fast without thinking much, you may make a mistake. In such questions there will be two obviously wrong answers and two likely answer, one best fitting answer. So there is a good chance that some students may get confused with those two options, that is most like the most fitting answer and a more or less likely somewhat fitting answer. So that two options is what you have to be careful about. There will be two obviously wrong answer, you can just eliminate it. Okay, anyway, this is the solution to question 11. I took some time to explain because such statements, such questions appear often in the exam, so I just wanted, if anyone is struggling with such questions, I just wanted to give some give an idea how to approach such question. Okay, anyway, solution to question 11 is A. Next question, question 12. All good athletes want to win and all athletes who want to win eat a well-balanced diet. So therefore all athletes who do not eat a well-balanced diet are bad athletes. So we can the question is, the best conclusion from the statement is, so if you see, all good athletes want to win, okay, and all athletes who want to win eat a well-balanced diet. Therefore all athletes who do not eat a well-balanced diet are bad athletes by default. That is what is given. So now let's see the options. No bad athletes want to win. So we cannot say that for sure. It is only said all good athletes wants to win and all athletes who want to win eat a well-balanced diet. So there is we cannot say whether anything about the bad athletes. There may be bad athletes who want to win, there may be bad athletes who doesn't want to win. We don't have that information, so we cannot say this for sure. So this is a wrong answer. So next statement, no athletes who does not eat a well balanced diet is a good athlete. So from the third statement that is given, all athletes who do not eat a well balanced diet are bad athletes. It is said if anyone is not eating a well balanced diet, that means that person is a bad athlete. So no athletes who does not eat a well balanced diet is a good athlete. So it is saying for sure that if that person does not eat a well balanced diet, we can say for sure that that person is not a good athlete. There is no mixing of that. So this statement can be true. We'll just check C and D. Every athlete who eats a well balanced diet is a good athlete. So every athlete who eats a well balanced diet, we cannot say that for sure. It is said if a person is a good athlete, he will eat a well balanced diet. That is given. But whether bad athletes are also eating a well balanced diet, that we don't know for sure. So we cannot say every athlete who eats a well balanced diet is a good athlete. So that is not true. All athletes who want to win are good athletes. Again, I discussed this in option A. We cannot say for that sure. So bad athletes may want to win. So we cannot say if a person wants to win, he is by default a good athlete. We cannot say that. A bad athlete may want to win. So D cannot be an answer. So B is the correct option to solution to question 12. So if you have any doubt, we can use the Venn diagram approach. It may take little time, but we can for complicated questions that will come in handy. I will just explain that. So if we say, I will just draw a big square. this in this there are this is a square of athletes. So in this square there are two group of people, good athletes, and I'll just mark bad athletes with red. Bad athletes. So only two possibilities are there. Either a athlete is a good athlete or a bad athlete. So now we will just use the information given to draw the rest. It is given all good athletes want to win, and all athletes who want to win eat a well balanced diet. So all good athletes wants to win makes I will draw another circle, say, which includes this, and say some portion of bad athlete. We are not sure whether all athletes who want to win encircles the bad athletes whole as a whole, but we can say some it may be crossing over with the bad athlete. We are not sure. This is one possibility. Another possibility is, I'll just quickly draw another possibility. Another possibility is these are good athletes. Say this is bad athletes. And another possibility is all athletes who want to win may look like this from the given information. There is one more possibility, which is, say this is good athletes and this is bad athletes. All athletes may want to win also may look like this, which includes all the bad athletes. This means every athlete wants to win. If he is an athlete, if that person wants to win, this is also a possibility, and this is also a possibility. We don't have to draw everything. We just go with one possibility and redraw it as more information are coming. So next information is, so what is this? So this is the athletes who want to win. Athletes who want to win. So it is given that all who wants to win eat a well balanced diet. So one more circle is coming. So we will just use, it should include all the athletes who want to win. I'm just drawing another possibility. This is well balanced diet. People who are eating well balanced diet is represented by the white circle. Then it is given, therefore all the athletes who do not eat a well balanced diet are bad athletes. So if any person is belonging outside this well balanced diet, they are bad athletes for sure. So it is already shown. So we cannot say still these are the people who do not eat. There are people here. That is what it is said. There are people. We cannot say there are people. If someone belongs here in this blue circle, we can say that. We cannot say whether there are people there. Only thing we can say is, let me just, and only thing we can say is, if any person lies outside this, that person has to be in this area, bad athlete group. Okay, anyway, so this is the information that is given. From this, just see, this is a possibility from the given information. Since that is the case, we can see what is given, what might be the answer. So no bad athletes want to win. So if you see, this is the winning circle, and there may be people here, right, who are bad athletes but is within that yellow circle, so who wants to win. So that is a possibility. So we cannot say that no bad athletes wants to win is a true statement. So that is, so A is false. No athletes who does not eat a well balanced diet is a good athlete. So if that we can clearly say from the graph. If there is a person who is outside the white graph, white circle, he cannot be from the good athlete category. So if any person is lying here, or just for the representation sake, that person does not belong to any group. Anyway, if any person is lying outside the white circle, he has to be here only. So that person has to be by default bad. So we can say no bad athlete who does not eat a well balanced diet is a good athlete is a true statement. So in next statement, every athlete who eats a well balanced diet is a good athlete. Can we say that? No, there are bad athletes inside this white circle. There may be bad athletes who wants to win and eats a well balanced diet. There may be a person here which means he doesn't want to win but eats a well balanced diet. So all such possibilities are there. All athletes who want to win are good athletes. So can you say that? No, all athletes who want to win we cannot say that all athletes who want to win should be from the good athlete group. That may be true, but it is not given. The given statements does not conclusively say all athletes who want to win are good athletes. There may be people here who wants to win but are bad athletes. So even that statement is not true. So I hope how Venn diagram can be used to deconstruct the given such statements. So you may think that this is too time consuming, and how we can pull this off in the exam hall where we have only 1 or 2 minutes maximum to solve one question. So usually such complicated question that needs Venn diagram does not come for UPSC Civil Service preliminary examination. I have seen such questions come for the bank exams, but not in this civil service. But in case such difficult question comes, you can quickly draw a small Venn diagram and see whether these statements holds true. So if you search in the net, you can see you can get many complicated questions that demands drawing a Venn diagram. For simplicity, you can learn how to quickly draw a Venn diagram in such questions from other videos that is out there. But if you have any doubt on this, and if you want me to give a better clarity on how to draw such questions, how to draw Venn diagrams for such questions, I will pick up some new questions and try to explain it in another video. Do comment on it. Okay. Anyway, that is the solution to question 12. Option B is the correct answer. Next question, question 13. A runs less fast than B. So A runs less fast than B. And B runs as fast but not faster than C. So as fast means B is equal to C, we can write. Then as compared to A, C runs. So C runs faster than A. So you can see, since B and C runs on a similar speed, we can say C runs faster than A. Correct solution is B. Solution to question 13, B. Next question, question 13. Each of A, B, C and D has 100 rupees. A pays 20 to B. So we will just write down the information given. The question is, which of the following statement is not correct? So we will mark not correct, so we won't make it wrong. So we will just write A, B, C, D, and each has 100 rupees. 100, 100 and 100. Now A pays 20 to B. So A pays 20 to B, so 80, and this becomes 120. Now who pays, that is B, who pays 10 to C. So again 110, and this becomes 110. Again who gets 30 from D. So it gets 30. So 30 subtracts from D, added to C. D, who gets 30 from D. In this context, which one of the following statement is not correct is the question. C is the richest. So which is the correct statement. C has 140 rupees. So this is a correct statement. So this is not the answer. D is the poorest. D is the poorest. If you see, D has only 70 rupees. So that is also true statement. It is asking for not correct statement. So this is not the correct answer. C has more than what A and D have together. So A and D together have 80 plus 70, which is 150. So C has more than what A and D have together is wrong, since A plus D is equal to 150 and C is 140. So C is not greater than A plus D. So this is a wrong statement. So this is the correct answer. We will just check D also. B is richer than D. B is richer than D is a correct statement. So this is not the right answer. So the correct option is C. Solution to question 14 is C. Make sure that you mark not correct. So there is a good chance that you while reading the options, you may forget that it is not correct, and once you get a correct statement, you may accidentally mark it immediately in the answer sheet. So you make sure that you mark it with some bold underline or something, that so that you don't go wrong in such question. Okay, solution to question 4, C. Next question, question 15. In a town, 45% population read magazines A, 55% read magazine B, 40% read magazine C, 30% read magazine A and B, 15% read magazine B and C, 25% read magazines A and C, 10% read all the three magazines. What percentage do not read any magazine? So the equation say in the Venn diagram, we can use Venn diagram method to solve this. But it is given A, B, C are individually given, and A plus B is given, B plus C is given, and A plus C is given. Then A plus B plus C, the common region between these, are given. So in such questions, to get the whole number, what we do is we just do A plus B plus C minus A plus B minus B plus C minus A plus C, then add A plus B plus C to it. So what happens if you do this? You will get you will remove all the double counting and get the total number of people in the region given. So this is what we do in the exam hall, and we can quickly find the answer. I will just show what will be the answer here. It will be 45 plus 50, 5 plus 40 minus 30 plus 15 plus 25 plus 10. What does this give? So 45 just 90, this is 100, 140. So 140 minus 45, 70. So 140 minus 70 plus 10. So this gives 140 minus 70 is 70 plus 10 is 80. So 80%. So so total number of people is in that region is 80%. So what percentage do not read any magazine in the question? So 100 minus 80, which is 20, is the answer. So 20%, C is the answer to this question. So 1 second. So so this is how we if we know the formula, you can quickly find out the answer like this, using this formula. For people who are not familiar with this formula, I will just explain how this formula works. Okay, I'll just take a separate. For people who are familiar with the formula, please skip to the next portion. Sorry. So I will just draw a new figure here. So say this is the entire region, and we have 3 circles. I'll just draw it big. B, and we have C. This is A, this is B, and this is C. So I'll just give color code the regions. So let's mark all these regions with white. So when we add, okay, the center region is, I will just mark it with red color. I will just give individual regions a number to make it more easily referable. I can easily refer the regions. Let's, okay, which region I am talking about? Say this one, this region, right? Sorry, this sorry, just draw it neatly. I will call this region 1, the yellow region. Similarly, I will call this region 2. Similarly, I will call this region 3. Now I will call this white region 4, this region 5, and this region 6. And I will call the center region 7. So now I showed you the formula, right? I will just write what individually each A means, what A means, what B means, what C means. Okay, so if you see, for A means, A is which all region? It is the sum of these 4 parts. That is, A is sum of 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7, right? These 4 parts add to form A. Similarly, B is 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7, and C is 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. Okay, and when we say A and B, what we mean is A and B mean the common, this is the common region. We mean 4 plus 7. This is the region we mean. So similarly, B and C, when we say B and C, we mean the common region between B circle and C circle, which is 6 and 7. And when we say A and C, we mean 5 and 7. Okay. Okay. So this is the information. And when we say all, people who read all the magazine, that is A and B and C, we just mean the 7th region, just 7. Okay, this is the information. These are the regions that are mentioned. All these are given some values. So what happens if we add all these 3? If we add all A plus B plus C, we get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 gets counted twice, 5 get counted twice, 6 get counted twice, and 7 get counted 3 times. The region 7 get counted 3 times. See, this common region is there for all the 3 people, so that get counted 3 times. This white region, since it is common to 2 regions, it gets counted twice. So this is what we get if we just simply add A plus B plus C. Now we want 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 without any double counting. We are trying to remove the double counting we do when we just simply add A plus B plus C. So what we can do, we can subtract. So this sum, if we add A and B plus B and C plus A and C, we will get 4 plus 5 plus 6, which we need to eliminate 1 these 3 can be eliminated if we subtract this from this. But we also eliminate 3 sevens. So we'll also eliminate 3 sevens from it. So we already have 3 sevens here. So that 3 sevens also will get removed, and one additional 4, 5, 6 will be removed. So what happens if we add, what is left if we add 1 a plus b plus c minus a and b plus b and c plus a and c. So we get 1 plus 2 plus 3 remains unchanged, and each addition 4, 5, 6 gets removed from here. See, this get removed. So only 4, 5, 6, only 1, 4, 5, 6 will remain. All the double counting will get removed, and all sevens will be removed, since there was 3 sevens here and there was 3 sevens already that is present. So all those will get removed. So what we are left with is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So to get all the numbers, we need one more region, which is a and b and c. So we'll have to add a and b and c to it, which is just the 7th region 7. So that is what we are doing here. If you see, I said when we are given these regions, we just add these 3 and subtract these 3 and just add this region to it. So that is what we did, and we got 80% as the total number of people. If you say this belongs to 100 people, and inside these circles we have 80 people, and so outside this circle we have 20 people. That is what the question asked. So the question asked this about this number, what percentage do not read any magazine. So we got 20%. We don't have to mark it in this manner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and all. We don't need to mark. So in questions like this, if you understand, this is how this formula works. If all the individual regions are given like this, a, b, c, a and b, b and c, a and c, and a and b and c, we can just, to find the total number of people inside that region, we just need to add these 3, and to avoid the double counting, we just subtract all these 3 from this and then add a and b and c to it. Why that works is what I showed here. So I hope this individually marking the regions and doing it like this will clear why this adding and subtracting and then adding this region will remove the double counting. So these white regions will get counted twice, and the region 7 will be counted 3 times, and when we remove this, all the double counting of white regions will be removed, but 7 will be completely removed. So 7 will be added again. So that is what we did. I hope that is clear. I am not sure whether this got more confusing, but if that is the case, I will do a separate video on it with more clarity, which may bring more clarity. So if you are still confused, do comment and I will try to do a better video. Anyway, this is the solution to question 15. See, okay, but do remember, you never do these kind of drawings and markings in the exam hall. That will take a lot of time. You don't do that. You just understand how that formula works and what kind of Venn diagram figure the question asks. In certain question, we don't have to find this individual region. So just understand what type of question it is and apply the formula, and draw Venn diagram only if you need clarity on it. Okay. Anyway, solution to question 15, C. Next question, question 16. Examine the following statements. Lady's finger is tastier than cabbage. So we'll just write lady's finger is tastier than cabbage. Cauliflower is tastier than lady's finger. So cauliflower is tastier than lady's finger. Now, cabbage is not tastier than peas. It's not tastier. It's not tastier. So it is saying cabbage is not tastier can mean less than or equal to peas. Since not tastier can mean cabbage. So if peas and cabbage are as equally taste equal, then cabbage is not tastier than peas. Then holds true then also. So we should write cabbage is less than or equal to peas for that statement. Is not tastier means this. The conclusion that can be drawn from this statement is, so we'll look at the options now. Peas are as tasty as lady's finger. So peas are as tasty as lady's finger is clearly false. Since from these two statements we can build cabbage less than lady finger less than cauliflower. So this is possible. This statement is possible from the first two statement. So if you see peas are less peas are more tastier than cabbage, but we don't know whether more tastier or equal in taste as compared to cabbage, but we don't know whether peas taste better than lady's finger or cauliflower. So we don't know that information. So that is a wrong statement. So A is not the correct answer. Peas are as tasty as cauliflower and lady's finger, which we don't know. We just know that peas is not tasty. Cabbage is not tastier than peas. That's all we know about peas. We don't know any information we don't have any information to compare the taste of peas and ladyfinger and cauliflower. So that is also a wrong statement. Cabbage is the least tasty of the four vegetables, which we cannot say, since peas and cabbage can have same taste or similar quality of taste. So we cannot say for sure, since there is an equal to sign here. So cabbage can be as least tasty compared to peas. So this is also a wrong statement. Cauliflower is tastier than cabbage. So cauliflower. So from this statement we can clearly see cauliflower is tastier than cabbage. So D is the correct option. So solution to question 16 is D. So the only mistake a student may make in the exam hall, the most likely mistake student can make in the exam hall is missing out this equal sign. So if you miss out equal sign and write cabbage is less than peas from this statement, then C also becomes C will get confusing. Cabbage is the least tasty of the four becomes true. So we should be careful when there is not tastier, that kind of statement is given. Don't forget that there can be an equal sign. Cabbage and peas may taste similar. So taste wise, they may be equal in taste. Okay. So keep that in mind. So solution to question 16 is D. Cauliflower is tastier than cabbage. Moving on to the next question, question 17. Shahid and Rohit start from the same point in opposite direction. After each 1 kilometer, Shahid always turn left and Rohit always turn right. Which of the following statement is correct? So we'll just draw their path out, and the options looks like their meeting point and all. So same point in opposite direction. Okay. So I will mark this. Yeah. So after each 1 kilometer, Shahid always turns left. So we will mark Shahid first. Shahid, I will mark Shahid with green and Rohit with yellow. Shahid always turns left. So this is Shahid's 1 kilometer. So his left means always think in his left. This person is facing in this direction at this point after 1 kilometer. So his left will be towards this. Okay. So when after 1 kilometer, he will be facing to this direction. So his left will be this. So let's plot similarly for Rohit. Rohit travels 1 kilometer. He will be facing towards this direction, and he turns towards its right. So at this point, 1 kilometer, this is the direction he is facing towards right. So this is the meeting point. They both meet at this point, which was just 1 kilometer south. 1 kilometer south. Okay. Now the options are, after both have traveled 2 kilometers, so 1 1 1, so they should travel 3 kilometers to meet. They meet after each has traveled 3 kilometers. This is the correct option. So option B is the answer. So 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer, both traveled 1 kilometers, 3 kilometers. Solution to question 17 is B. Next question, question 18. In a 500 meters race, B starts 45 meters ahead of A, but A wins the race while B is still 35 meters behind. What is the ratio of the speed of A to B, assuming both starts at the same time? So just a representation, let this be 500 meters, and this is from where B starts, which is 45 meters ahead of A, and at the end point, say this is A's final position, and B is here, which is 35 meters behind. So we can use the simple formula, time is equal to distance by speed. So here the time that took for A to cover this 500 meters is same as the time took to cover this distance for B, which is 500 minus 45 minus 35, which is this distance is, if you add 45 and 35, we get 80. So 500 minus, so 500 minus 80 is equal to 420. This distance is 420. Okay. So now we have a formula, distance by speed. So we know that 500 by, let the speed of A be A, is equal to 420 is the distance ran by B by B speed. So question asks A to B. A is to B is the question. So A is to B is 500 by 420, which is 50 by 42 or 25 by 21. So option A is the correct answer. Solution to question 18 is option A, 25 is to 21. Moving on to the next question, question 19. Two equal glasses of the same same type are respectively 1/3 and 1/4 full of milk. So we can assume this is the two glasses. So the total volume be V. So this is one, it is given V by 3 milk, and one has V by 4 milk, and now it is filled. It is said it is both are filled with water. So when it is, there is 2V by 3 water here, and 3V by 4 water is in this glass. So now the whole content, it is said, is mixed to a pot. Now a big pot, it is poured to a pot. Now it has how much milk? V by 3 plus V by 4, and water 2V by 3 plus 3V by 4. So now question, what is the ratio of milk and water in the pot? So it is asking for this milk to ratio, so that is V by 3. So I'll just write V by 3 plus V by 4 by 2V by 3 3v by 4. So v cancels out, and we can write is 4 plus 3 by 12 by so 4 into 2 8 plus 9 by 4 into 3 12, or we have 7 by 17. So option A is the correct answer, 7 by 17. So in case if you are too if you think this fractions handling fractions is too difficult, there is an easy method to solve this question. First we have to see what all fractions are there. Here, as you can see, there is a fraction 1 by 3 and 1 by 4. So the trick is 1 by 3 and 1 by 4. So the trick is instead of taking v, take a value which will divide with both 3 and 4. So I am going to assume the volume of the container is 12 liters. This is a random value which divides. The reason for choosing is this, it divides with 3 and 4. So in this case, what will happen? So the question says v by 3, one third of the pot is milk. I will just draw again what will happen. So since first container contains 1 by 3rd, so 12 by 3 becomes, so 12 by 3 is 4 liter. 4 liter of milk. We will have 4 liter of milk, and the second container contains 1 by 4. So 3 liter, 3 liters of milk. So since it is filled with water, rest is filled with water, we will have 4 liter. Since it is 4, total volume is 12 liter, we have 12 minus 4, which is 8 liters of water. And this will contain 12 minus 3, so which is 9 liters of water. So now everything is poured into a pot, which becomes 4 plus 3 is 7 liters of milk. 7 liters of milk, and 8 plus 9, 17 liters of water. Now it becomes, if you ask, the ratio of milk to water is 7 by 17. Simple. So we didn't have to write this complicated fractions, take LCM and all that stuff. If we simply assume that the total volume of the container is 12 liters, it is a simple way to solve this question. We will get the answer much faster also. So do remember to solve questions like this in this manner. Yeah, okay. So this is the solution to question number 19. Option A is the answer. Next question, question 20. Out of 130 students appearing in an examination, 62 failed in English, 52 failed in mathematics, whereas 24 failed in both English and mathematics. The number of students who passed finally is. So this is a simple Venn diagram question. You could write away 62 plus 52 minus 24 as the total number of failed students, which is 4 11 114 minus 24 0 90. So 90 students failed in total. So 130 minus 90 is 40 students passed. So we can right away say A is the correct answer. So in case if you need Venn diagram, this is how it looks. Total is 130, and this is the number of students failed for English, which is 62. This is the number of students who failed for mathematics, which is 52. And this is the common region where both has failed in both subjects. So the total unique persons in this circular region is the total number of students failed. So total, which is 62 plus 52 minus the common region 24. So since this subtraction is for reducing the double counting, since 24 is already included in the English when we counted 62, and when we added 52, additional 24 got double counted. counted twice. 24 people got counted twice. So we have to reduce that 24 to get actual number of students in this failed region. So which we got as 90. So totally there are 130 people. So 130 minus 90, 40 people are outside this circular region, who are the people, who students who actually passed. That is how the solution of question 20 is A. Solution to question 20, A, 40. Moving on to the next question, question 21. In a group of persons traveling in a bus, 6 persons can speak Tamil, 15 can speak Hindi, and 6 can speak Gujarati. In that group, none can speak any other language. If 2 persons in the group can speak 2 languages only, and 1 person can speak all the 3 languages, then how many persons are there in the group? So this is a Venn diagram question. I will right away draw a Venn diagram and explain. Let's first circle, let's be the second circle, let this be the third circle. So let this be the Tamil speaking circle, 6, Tamil speaking 6, Hindi speaking 15, and Gujarati speaking 6. So now if 2 persons in the group can speak 2 languages only, so where does that person belong? So in this region, right? We are not sure which 2 language the person mentioned speaks, but it belongs to this region. So which is 2, it is mentioned. So and 2 persons in the group can speak 2 languages only, and 1 person can speak all the 3 languages. So this red is 1. It is mentioned red is 1. Red region is 1. So if you see, if you add 6 plus 15, it is asking for number of people in this circle, that comes within the circle. So no person is outside, so all the persons comes within the circle. So it is asking for the number of people inside the circle. So 6 plus 15 plus 6, if you add this 3, 6 plus 15 plus 6, what will happen? These white regions get counted twice. So this white region is there in the 6, it is also there in the 15. So it counted twice. Similarly, for this white region get counted twice when we add 15 and 6. It is there in the 15 and there in the 6. Similarly, this region is there in the 6 and there in this 6 also. So this white region gets counted twice. So to avoid double counting, we have to subtract the white region one time. So we will subtract it by 2. Then if you look at the red region, you can see that when you add 6, 15 and 6, it gets counted 3 times. This red region gets counted 3 times. So we have to avoid double counting, we have to subtract the red region 2 times. So since there is 3 times, so 2 into 1. So this becomes 6 plus 6, 12 plus 5, 27 minus 2 minus 2. So 25, 23 is equal to 23 is the answer. So solution is C. So in case if you have doubt regarding this double counting and why I subtracted that white region once and why I subtracted the red region 2 times, you can refer the question number 15. So in question number 15, I discussed this concept in detail. I have shown why it comes twice, why this white region appearing twice, and why this region 7, if you see A plus B plus C have 3 7s, or 4 5 6, if you see it is appearing twice. All this is discussed in the question number 15 in detail. You can check that out. So in this paper only, we discussed in, if you go back, you can see that. So yeah, I use that concept here. So the solution is C. Solution to question 21 is C. 23. Moving on to the next question, question 22. In a parking area, the total number of wheels of all the cars and scooters is 100 times more than twice the number of parked vehicles. The number of cars parked is. So we will form an equation from the given statement. Let the number of cars be C. I will take as cars as C and scooters as S. So that means total number of wheels of all cars becomes 4C. Since cars has 4 wheels, we will have 4 C cars, we have 4 C wheels. Similarly, for scooters, we have 2 S wheels. In S scooters, we have 2 S wheels. It is given as 100 is 100 more than, which is 100 plus total twice the number of parked vehicles. So twice total parked vehicle becomes C plus S. The total cars plus scooters is the total parked vehicles. That into twice plus 100 gives 4C plus 2S. This is the equation. So if you see 2S cancels in both sides and we get 4C minus 2. So 4C is equal to 100 plus 2C, or 2C is equal to 100. That implies C equal to 50. So the solution to question 22 is C, 50. Moving on to the next question, question 23. A selection is to be made for one post of principal and 2 posts of vice principal. So for principal P, there is 1 post, and for vice principal, there is 2 posts. And among the 6 candidates called for interview, only 2 candidates are eligible for the post of principal, while they are all eligible for the post of vice principal. The number of possible combination of the selection is. So there are 6 candidates. Let's split them into 2 and 4. Only these 2 are eligible for principal post. So, and all are eligible for vice principal post. So question is asking, what are the total number of possible combinations? Since there are only 2 people available for principal post, let's choose one in random. They are labeled 1 and 2, and we will choose 1. When 1 is selected for the principal post, there are 5 candidates left for vice principal post, and we have to select 2 people from them. So that is a classic way of saying 5C2. So when 1 is the principal, there is 5C2 ways to select vice principal, which is 5 into 4, 2 into 1, that is 10. Similarly, when 2 is selected as the principal, again there is 5C2 ways to select principal. 5 people being this 4 and the second, since 2 is selected as principal, person 1. So 4 plus 1, that's how 5. So 5C2 ways in selecting vice principal. So total 10 ways. So in total there is 10 plus 10, 20 ways to select combinations of selected. So there is no options 20. So the correct answer is D. Solution to question 23 is D. So in case if you are not familiar with the 5C2, how 5C2 came here. So we had 5 people and 2 post. So how will we select 2 people from among the 5 people? So the order is irrelevant. We have to select 2 people from this 5 people. So that is how 5C2 comes. An explanation is, say there are 2 people post and there are 5 people. So if we want to select one person to this post among the 5 people. We have 5 choices to make. So one person is selected, that is done, and now we have to fill in this post. So now what we are left with is 4 choices. So we have 4 choices. So in total we have 5 people to we could have chosen 5 different people for this post, and once that person is selected we are left with 4 people. So in total we have 20 combinations. But in this 20 combinations, what happens is there is some repetitions. So say we will name these 5 people 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this 5 people, say we chose 1 for the first post and 5 for the last post. So in another combination that is inside this 20 cases is we chose 5 for the first post and 1 for the last post. So though in 20 cases these two are separate cases, we for us it doesn't matter, these two are same cases. Since we just want to select 2 people, the order of them is irrelevant. So we have selected so many duplicate cases like this. So similarly we have selected 2, 3 and 3. We counted 2, 3 and 3 to us another possibility in this 20. So if you see there is exactly a duplicate for each combination. So we have to divide with 2 to get the actual number, which is 10. This is how 5C2 comes. So in 5C2 what we do is to get this we need 5 into 4, right? So for that we first 5 factorial and divide with this lower number, which is 2 factorial, and then to remove the duplicates we'll divide with this 5 it is not 2 factorial, it is 5 minus 2 factorial, which is 3 factorial, and then to remove the duplicates we'll divide with this 1 by 2 factorial, or NCR can be found out by n factorial by n minus r factorial into r. This is the formula. So how this formula came is what I tried to explain here. Whenever we want to choose some n r amount from n, we use the combination NCR. If the order is irrelevant, we go with combinations, and if the order is relevant, then we go with permutation, which becomes NPR, which is permutation. If we want to choose r items from n objects, and that the order in which we choose is relevant, we go with NPR. The formula for NPR is n factorial by n minus r factorial. So if you see, the only thing we divided to avoid the duplicates, or since the order was not relevant, we divided it with 2, right, which is 2 factorial. So if you compare the formulas of permutation and combination, you can see only r factorial is dividing with r factorial is the only difference. That is that order is irrelevant in the combinations and order is relevant in permutations. These are the formulas. So I just try to just push the idea of permutation and combination in a small time frame. So I know it could be very confusing for many. If the concept of permutation and combination is confusing to you, or how I applied this concept of permutation and combination in this question, if you have any doubt, comment on it. I will try to do a separate video on it. So anyway, in this question, the solution is D, none of the above. The total number of selections that can be made is 20. It is not in the options. So D. Question 23, D. Moving on to the next question. Question 24. A student has to opt for 2 subjects out of 5 subjects for a course, namely Commerce, Economics, Statistics, Mathematics 1 and Mathematics 2. Mathematics 2 can be offered only if Mathematics 1 is also opted. The number of different combinations of 2 subjects which can be opted is. So this is a question where we can use the combination, the formula for combination to find the answer. So we need to choose 5 subjects, 2 subjects from 5 subjects. So that is classic case 5C2 to apply 5C2. So 5C2, which can be founded out by 5 into 4 and 2 into 1. So 2, we have 10. So 10, we have 10 total cases, but there is a restriction. So it is said that mathematics 2 can be opted only if mathematics 1 is opted. So we have counted some cases that are invalid. Which all cases? Say one subject is math 2. So we have counted some cases where we have included math 2 and commerce, economics and statistics. So we have 3 papers, except for the if you are not including math 1, the only accepted combination with math 2 is math 1 and math 2. So math 2 and all other 3 subjects are invalid cases. So these 3 cases are invalid cases in this 10 cases. So we have to subtract this 3 from this. So we get 7. So 7 is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. So again, we have used the concept of combinations. Selecting 2 subjects out of 5 subjects, we use 5C2. Selecting R objects from n items, we use the NCR combination. So again, NCR formula for NCR is n factorial by n minus r factorial by r factorial. One easy method is, if you are not familiar, if say we have 10C3, what we could do is write 10, 9, 8. So what is 3? Write 3 numbers here, 10 into 9 into 8. If it was 10C4, write into 7 also. And by 3, if it is 3 here, we write 3 into 2 into 1. So this will be 10C3. So effectively, what is happening here is, when we apply the formula 10 factorial by 10 minus 3, 7 factorial by 3 factorial, this 7 into 6 into this term get cancelled with 7 factorial. That is why this is not there. So that I use this here, that is 5 into 4 by 2 into 1. That is how this was formed. I know anyone who have learned combinations and permutations and is in touch with the concept will find this very easy and simple. But people who are not familiar with the combination permutation concepts will find this very difficult. So that's why I explained. In the last question also, I explained somewhat how this NCR formula comes. So again, if you want me to do a video on combinations and permutations, do comment. I'll try to do it. Okay. So solution to question 24 is C7. Moving on to the next question, question 25. A person ordered 5 pairs of black socks and some pairs of brown socks. The price of a black pair was thrice that of a brown pair. So if you say price of black, price of black be X and price of brown be Y. So it is given the price of a black pair was thrice that of a brown pair. So X is equal to 3Y, it is given. Now, while preparing the bill clerk interchanged the number of black and brown pairs by mistake. So it is given initially a person ordered 5 pairs of black socks. So if you process the given information, that is, the bill clerk interchanged the number of black and brown pairs by mistake, which increased the bill by 100%. What was the number of pairs of brown socks in original order? So given X is the price of black and Y is the price of brown, and first a person ordered 5 pairs of black socks, then that gives 5x plus, let's say, number of brown socks B, capital B. So that means number of brown is capital B into Y. This is the original bill price. So when it was interchanged, it so it is said that the bill increased by 100%. So this is the original bill. Increasing by 100% means it doubled. So 2 into 5x plus by is equal to, so the numbers got interchanged, right? 5 and b got interchanged. So that becomes bx plus 5y, right? So this is the equation. So if you substitute x with 3y, we get 10x becomes 10 into 3, 30y. Okay, I'll just 10 into 3y plus by equal to bx plus, sorry, x will be replaced by 3y. So b into, sorry, b into 3y plus 5y. So we need to find the variable b. So we have 30y equal to 3by minus by is 2by plus 5y. Sorry, it's 2by. So 3by, here there is a 2. Taking 2 inside, we have 2by, and here taking 2by to the right hand side, we have by plus 5y, or y cancels, 30y, sorry, 25y equal to by. That implies b equal to 25. So option D is the correct answer, 25. So I hope you understood. The variables here are, I will say once more, cost of price of black socks B, X, and cost of price of brown socks B, Y. So it is given X is equal to 3Y, and the equation is formed using the given information that when the number of pairs of black and brown socks were interchanged in the bill, it increased by 100%. That is, original amount is doubled. So 5x plus by, where x is the price of black socks and y is the price of brown socks, and 5 is the total number of black socks, and b, capital B, is the total number of brown socks. So that 5 and b got interchanged. So 2 into 5x plus by equal to bx plus 5y. That is the given information. And so from this we substituted for x as 3y, then eliminated all terms, sorry, not eliminated. So we found out what is the value of b is. So we got b as 25, or option D. Moving on to the next question, question 26. The number of persons who read magazine X only is thrice the number of persons who read magazine Y. Okay, before reading the entire question, there is a mistake in this question. UPSC has marked the answer as X in the answer key. So the reason I will explain later. First, I will just go through the question as it is and see what is the mistake in the question. So the number of persons who read magazine X only is thrice the number of persons who read magazine Y. So this question can be solved using a Venn diagram. Let's draw a circle. Let this circle represent all the people who read the magazine X. Now we will draw a circle intersecting this circle. This circle represents all the people reading magazine Y, and this common area, this is people who read both the magazine X and Y, as it belongs to both the circles. So we will mark individual regions as A. Let this region be B and this region be C. So to avoid confusion, I will just say this A is this region, right? This region alone. And B is this region. And C is this region. Okay. So I have given different colors for the different region. So what does the region A represent? A region A represent the people who read magazine X alone. So B is B includes people who read magazine X and Y. So for people who read, so A X alone. I'm not writing the total thing. The people who read magazine X alone, and B both X and Y. Okay. C Y alone. So these are the regions. Now what is given is the number of persons who read magazine X only, that is A, is thrice the number of persons who read magazine Y. So person who read magazine Y is B plus C. So 3 times B plus C. And similarly, the next statement is the number of persons who read magazine Y only. So Y only is C, is thrice the number of persons who read magazine X, which is 3 times A plus B. So if you look at this, you can clearly see, say A is greater than C in this figure. From this statement, we can see A is greater than C. So if you, since if you put B is a positive number, right? So the smallest value B can take is 0. So even if it takes 0, C, A is 3 times C. So that means A is greater than C. Similarly, if you look at this statement, C is greater than A. Since B is a positive value and smallest value B can take is 0. So if you put 0 to it, this still C is equal to 3A. That means C is always greater than A. So if you see these two statements, these are contradicting statements. A is greater than C and C is greater than A are both contradicting statements. So the given information is totally absurd. There is some mistake in the given information. So there is no pointing in reading 1 and 2. You cannot make any conclusion from an absurd information. So that is why this question is a mistake. And in the official UPSC key, it is marked as X. The answer is marked as X. So they have cancelled the question or something. I don't know how the mark will be awarded. Anyway, this question is absurd. So what is the problem? So the problem is the wording got messed up. So what they meant to say is not, is instead of A equal to 3B plus C, what they meant to say is, I'll just strike off these statements. Sorry. I'll strike off these two. What they meant to say is 3A equal to B plus C. So instead, it should, instead of wording it like this, it should have been 3 times the number of persons who read magazine X is the number of persons who read magazine Y. That is 3A is equal to B plus C is what they intended to say. Similarly, 3C is equal to A plus B is what they intended to say. So if this is the case, both 1 and 2 statements will become true. We will see how. So we'll check 3A equal to B plus C, and from this 3C is equal to A plus B. So what we can do is we can eliminate 2. We will first eliminate, so if you multiply throughout with we'll first see the relation between A and C. So we will first eliminate B. So we will subtract both. So we get 3A minus 3C. So B cancels, is equal to C minus A. So this is 1, this is 2. So we got, so what we did is 1 minus 2. Okay, 3A minus 3C is equal to C minus A. So bringing A and C to one side, so 4A is equal to 4C. That is A equal to C. We got our first equation, A equal to C. So if you plug A is equal to C, so if you put C equal to A in first equation, we get, so I'll just, let me just move this a bit. So if you put, so I'll just draw a separate line here. Okay. Using 3 in 1, we have 3A equal to B plus, instead of C we put A, so A, or we have 2A equal to B. This is our fourth statement. 3 and 4 will be used to analyze the given statements. We'll just see. So I'm just copying the first statement, the fourth statement under here. I'll just put it here so that we can see it quickly. Okay, now if you read the first statement, the number of persons who read both the magazine is twice the number of persons who read only magazine X. So the number of persons who read both the magazine is, from the figure, it is B. So B is twice the number of persons who read only magazine A. Who read only magazine A is A. So we, from the fourth equation, is 2A equal to B, which is true. So statement 1 becomes true. Now second statement is, total number of persons who read either one magazine or both the magazine is twice the number of persons who read both the magazines. So we have to check that the total number of persons who read either one magazine or both the magazine, what is that? So either one magazine becomes A plus C. Read either one magazine, that is A plus C, or both the magazine, which is B. So this is what the first part of the statement is. Second statement is twice the number of persons who read both the magazine. Twice the persons who read is twice the number of persons who read both the magazine is 2B. So we have to check whether A plus C plus B is equal to 2B. But we already know that A equal to C. Okay, and we can substitute for C with A then. So 2A, I substituted C with A, so A plus A, 2A plus B it becomes. Now we know 2A is equal to B from fourth statement. Again substituting, we get B plus B, which is 2B. So that is second statement. So that is also A plus C plus B is equal to 2B. We just got. So second statement becomes also true. So This question got wrong because of a small problem in the wording. Instead of a equal to 3b plus c, it should have been 3a equal to b plus c, and c is equal to 3a plus b, it should have been 3c equal to a plus b. If that was the case, then both statement 1 and statement 2 was right. So this is the question. I hope you understood well. If there is any confusion, please comment on it. Comment under the video. So this is the solution. Solution to question 26 as per the official key is X. It is a wrong question. Moving on to the next question, question 27. The graph below depicts the earnings of A and B over the period 2000 to 2010. The graph is given. Years is plotted in y-axis and earnings is plotted in x-axis. From the graph, which one of the following can be concluded? On the average, A earned more than B during this period. On the average, B earned more than A during this period. And C, the earnings of A and B were equal during this period. D, the earnings of A were less as compared to B during this period. So if you, without any complication, if you just look at the graph, you can see that from the year 2000 to 2007, for 7 years, A had much higher salary than B. It even goes to this kind of difference. So it starts with a smaller difference and then goes up to this difference, and then again goes to 0 at 2007. They both had same salary at 2007, and 2007 to 10 B had higher salary than A, but it was for 3 years, and in this 3 years B is earning higher than A, but not as high, and not the difference is much smaller when compared to the year 2000 to 2007. So just using this information, we can say it is most likely that on this period average earnings of A is higher than B, since for 7 years A had much higher, A so much greater than B, and here B is greater than A but still small, is higher, greater than, and smaller. So we can use this information to say on the average A earned more than B during this period. If you are not convinced enough, I will also give you another way to solve this, which uses some mathematical concepts. For that we need two things. One, we need to know that average value of f of x can be found out by using the formula 1 by b minus a. Average value of f of x 1 by b minus a into a to b f of x dx. So this is the one concept we are going to use. Second concept is, this is area under the graph, area under the curve. So if we use both this concept, we can more conclusively say that on the average A earned more than B. So this is applicable in cases like this. There we have a function something like this, and this is from A and this is B. In this period, say from A to B, this is f of x. Okay, in this period A to B, we need to find the average value of f of x. F of x is taking so many values, right? These are the values f of x takes. So we don't know which all values, but if we want to find the average earnings, average f of x in this period A to B, we can use this formula 1 by b minus a integral a to b f of x dx. And if you have learned integration, you will know that this integral is nothing but area under the curve. That is, this area under the curve, the value of this area is what is being written as integral a to b f of x dx. So for people who are not familiar with integration, mathematical, these kind of equations and plotting graphs and all, I know it will be too much intimidating and confusing. So you don't have to go through all that. I just wrote it so that we need to only know that in cases like this, average value will be proportional to the area under the curve. Okay, See, it's not a proportional, it is area under the curve by interval. So here interval is b minus a, here 2010 minus 2000. But since when we are taking the interval in both cases, the area under the curve a and area under the curve b, under the when we compare these two areas, the interval is same, 2010 to 2000, so that doesn't matter. So only thing you have to remember is area under the average value is proportional to area under the curve or is equal to area under the curve by in that interval. So we are going to use this to get a better understanding who has higher average earnings. So I'll just show you one thing. When I say area under the curve, so this red colored, if you are seeing 3 figures here, the red the earnings of A is separately marked in red color. So the red region is the area under the curve of A. So A is the earning function. So I'll just mark it. 1 second. Here, this is the f of x. So average of f of x will give average of earnings. So which is what we need. So for that, as I said earlier, average value of f of x is proportional to the area under the curve. So if we instead of asking who has higher average earning, we could also ask who has higher area under the curve. So area under the curve of A and area under the curve of B. This is B. This is B. So B is f of x. So area under the curve is like this. So we need to see which area under the curve is higher. So if you remove out the common region, we will get the third figure. So red region has this much more than yellow, and yellow has this much more than red. So now we can clearly say that the yellow part is smaller than the red part, and hence area under the curve under the curve A is higher than area under the curve B. So which so it is like area under curve A is greater than area under curve B. That implies average of f of x f of, I will just call this f of A and f of B greater than average of B of f of x. That implies average earnings of A greater than average earnings of B. So in this manner, we can clearly say, we can more conclusively say that average earnings of A is greater than average earnings of B. It is not necessary you have to do all this or nothing. You can visually, once you know the concept to compare the average value, you will know instantly that you just need to compare the area under the curve, and if the area under the curve is clearly larger than the one we need to compare with, it will have average higher value of f of x. So this could come in handy for other questions also. That's why I discussed this concept, not to confuse. You could very well use that visually. This first method I discussed, just compare, just see whether A has higher value for longer time. So just with that you can conclude that A is the correct answer. But if you use this concept, area under the curve concept, you will get a better clarity whether A has higher average value than compared to B. So I hope it is not confusing. If you find it confusing, you can comment your doubt and I will try to address it. So this is solution to question 27. Answer A. On the average, A earned more than B during this period. Next question, question 28. Two pipes A and B can independently fill a tank completely in 20 and 30 minutes respectively. If both the pipes are open simultaneously, how much time will they take to fill the tank completely? So we'll to solve this, let's say assume the volume of the tank is V. Okay, so volume of tank, total volume, tank B, V. Okay, so in 1 minute for A, in 1 minute, 20 minutes to fill the volume, to fill the complete volume for A. So okay, for A, 20 minutes to fill the volume. So speed of A in 1 minute, in 1 minute it fills V by 20 volume. So speed. So for speed of A, it is for 1 minute V by 20. Similarly for B, if you see, it is V by 30. So in 1 minute B fills V by 30 volume of tank, and in 1 minute A fills V by 20 volume of tank. So if the pipes are opened simultaneously in 1 minute, how much volume gets filled? V by 20 gets filled by A, and plus V by 30 will get filled by B. So if you take V by 20 plus V by 30, LCM is 60. So we will get 3V plus 2V. Sorry, you multiply both side by 3V by 60 plus 2V by 60, which is 5V by 60. Or if you cut, we get V by 12. 5V by 60 is 5 1 by 12, right? So in 1 minute, V by 12 volume gets completed. So how many minutes will take to fill the entire volume? Into 12 minutes. So if you take V by 12 into 12, we get V volume. So if V by 12 is the volume that gets filled in 1 minute, we will take 12 minutes to fill V volume. So that is the concept. So just find in 1 minute how much volume gets filled, and see multiplying with what value will give the full volume. So V by 12 into 12 gives V. So 12 minutes is the answer. The solution to question 28 is B, 12 minutes. Next question, question 29. Each of the 6 different faces of a cube has been coated with a different color, that is V, I, B, G, Y, and O. Following information is given. So set of 4 statements are given. Question is, which is the color of the face opposite to the face colored with O? So we need to find all the face colors. So we'll just draw a random cube. So this is a cube. So now in this cube there are 3 faces visible and 3 are invisible. So this is a face here, there is a face here on this side, and on the bottom there is face. I will just mark it with the arrow for confusion, for avoiding confusion. So let's randomly fill in the information given. Now it is given Y, O, B are on adjacent faces. So since we haven't filled any information yet, so we can randomly choose these 3 as the given faces, Y, O, B. So Y, O, B, we just randomly chose 3 adjacent faces and marked it Y, O, B. Now we will use other information. Colors I, G, and Y are on adjacent faces. So we have Y here. So the adjacent faces, Y has in total 4 adjacent faces, and we already know that 2 adjacent faces are O and B. So the other 2 adjacent sides are these arrow sides, one on the this side and one on this side. So we don't know whether which is I and which is G, so we'll mark it I/G. So either I is here and G is here, or G is here and I is here. So if that is the case, then YIG becomes adjacents. That is why we wrote it like that. Next statement is color BG and Y are on adjacent faces. So the two adjacent faces to B and Y are, one is O, another is this side, this arrow side. So it is given BGY are adjacent side. So the only option is here it has to be G. So here it has to be G. So BGY become adjacent. Now since here it is G, this position become I. This position become I, and automatically this position, the only face left, which is V. So in the last statement it's not needed, but still it is given colors OVB are adjacent. OVB are adjacent. So from the figure we can understand OVB are adjacent. So we have got all our faces. Now the question is which is the color of the opposite, which color of the face opposite to the face colored with O. So this is O, and the opposite face of O is G. This side, that is this side, one that is not visible, which we already found it as G. So correct answer is C, G. So and just in case if you didn't understand what this figure is about, like I will just mark with transparent. Okay, there is no space here, sorry. I'll just mark it over here. So sorry. This is how a cube looks like. So here when I said the sides which are not visible, I meant this side, this side, and this side. So these two sides are not visible in this picture. So in a cube, this is the side I marked I, and this is the side I marked G. So since this side, so if you mark it different color, so this side is what we have O as O, and the side opposite to this side is this one, which is G. That is the answer. So in case if you were not able to visually see see a cube like this and draw a figure like this and visualize it as a cube, as a 3D structure, it will be very difficult. So in case if you are not able to do it, just try to draw a cube's figure and try to visualize it as a 3D object and see what is opposite to one side and all that. So I hope you understood. So the solution to question 29 is C, G. Next question, question 30. Consider the following statements followed by two conclusions. Some men are great, some men are wise. Men are either great. So conclusion one is men are either great or wise. Some men are neither great nor wise. So the only things we can assume is what is given in the statement. So I'll just draw possibilities for better understanding. So let's say this is the region that covers all the men, and in this there is some men that are great, so and some men that are wise. So it could be like this, which we don't know. This is one possibility. Another possibility is, so this is the whole region. So it, okay. Another possibility is, I'll just show, sorry. another possibility is this is the circle of all men, and it should something, it could be like that some men are, all men are wise. This could also be the circle of wise, and this could be also the circle of great. So in this case, in this particular scenario, it means all men are wise and great. So this is one particular scenario. Even in this scenario, we can say some men are great and some men are wise. It is not contradicting it. So these two are two possibilities from the given statements. We cannot know whether which is the case. So anyway, conclusion one says men are either great or wise. Need not be. So in this case, if you see, there are men outside this both great and wise circle. So there could be men who is not great, who is not wise, or who is neither of that. So we cannot say conclusion one is true, so one is false. So some men are neither great nor wise. So we don't know that for sure. So what if all men are wise and great in the situation we are considering? So we cannot say some men are neither great nor wise. Or it could be a case such that half, say this is the circle of men. When so this is the circle of men, and half of them are great and half of them are wise. We don't know. If that is the case, also we can say some men are great and some men are wise. So, and there will not be a man who is either great nor wise. We don't know whether any of that possibility is true or not. So we cannot say conclusion 2 is correct also. So the answer is neither of the conclusion is valid, or solution to question 30 is D. So in such questions, always keep in mind that the statements given are the only information we know. We cannot assume anything else. We should be able to derive our conclusions from the given statements. Otherwise, if any other possibility is there where the statement is true and conclusion is false, then the answer is we cannot derive the conclusion from the statement. So the answer to this question is D. Neither of the conclusion is valid. Question 30, D. Next question, question 31. Consider the following statements. Some claim to have seen UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Life on other heavenly bodies is considered to be a possibility. Third statement, voyage to space is now an established fact. So we are given three statements. From the above statement, it may be concluded that, okay, we'll see. UFOs are heavenly bodies. So there is no connection. UFOs, it is only said some claim to have seen some UFOs. So life on other heavenly bodies is considered to be a possibility, it is said, but UFOs as a heavenly body, it is not at all mentioned. So this is wrong. UFOs are sent from other heavenly bodies. This could be a possibility if you read it. If you read the three statements and think, try to think what the author is trying to say. Author may be implying that UFOs are something that are sent by life on other planets, but there is no specific mention of it. It is only said some claim to have seen UFOs. Then 2 and 3 are standing completely as a separate standalone statements. Life on other heavenly bodies is considered to be a possibility. Voyage to space is now an established fact. So 2 and 3 can exist on their own, and the statement 1, some claim to have seen UFOs, doesn't mean the UFOs are sent by life on other flying objects. So in questions like this, never try to use your knowledge or information outside the statements given. We should be able to derive the conclusion entirely from the given statement. So in that, if you see in that perspective, so option B is wrong. You cannot, it's not possible to derive that UFOs are sent from other heavenly bodies. So if you check option C, some living species in other heavenly bodies are more intelligent than man. So nothing of that sort of information is given in these three statements, so that is also false. So option D, nothing definite can be said about the UFOs. That is true. So from these three statements, nothing definite can be said about the UFOs. So solution to question 31 is D. Nothing definite can be said about the UFOs. Next question, question 32. If ABC into DEED is equal to ABC, where ABCD and E are different digits, what are the values of D and E? So we are given a 3-digit number and a 4-digit number, and the result is a 6-digit number where first 3 digit is ABC and the last 3 digits are ABC. So this number is getting repeated twice. So we are asked to guess values of D and E. In multiplication like this, if you see the last digits, so if you see the last digit of ABC is C and last digit of D is D, so C into D has to be this last digit, so C. So from this itself we are getting an idea that D is 1, D is equal to 1 here. So if D is 1, if you check the options, A and B gets eliminated, and the only option is E. Options are for E to be 0 and 2. We'll check E is equal to 0. That is the most likely case here, since it is getting repeated. So so A, B, C into putting D equal to 1 and E equal to 0, this becomes 1, 0, 0, 1, right? D equal to 1 and E equal to 0. So if you multiply, 1 into ABC becomes ABC, 0 into ABC becomes 0, 3 digits. Then again next 0 into ABC becomes 3 zeros. Then 1 into ABC is ABC. So if you take sum C, this is why last 2 digits should give C, means it is 1. So C, B, A, B, C. So ABC when multiplied with 1001, we get ABC, ABC. So C is the correct answer. Question 32, solution is C. Next question, question 33. Year-wise variation of the price of a certain commodity is shown in the following graph. The price in rupees is in the x-axis and years is in the y-axis. Price of the commodity in the year 1990 is the question. So we'll look at the options. So if you see from the chart, if you draw roughly 1990 will be somewhere like here. It will be somewhat like this. So if you see, it is between 10 and 20. We don't know exactly what value this is. Approximately this is between 10 and 20. So the price of the commodity in the year 1990 must have been 10 is false. Definitely false, since 1980, even in 1980, if you, this is above, the starting point is clearly above 10, so it has to be above 10 and must have been 12. That is a specific number that we cannot say for sure. It is between 10 and 20, definitely somewhere close to 15, I guess, but we cannot say for sure that it has been 12. So must have been anywhere between 10 and 20 is more appropriate answer here. It's higher than the year 1991 is false, since it is a rising graph. So in the year 1991, the price must have increased. Like in the year 1991, have higher price than 1990. So this is also wrong. So confusion. If anyone, if the two probable answer is B and C, and out of it C is the more appropriate answer, we cannot say for sure that it is price is 12. So the correct option is C. Question 33, C must have been anywhere between 10 and 20. Moving on to the next question, question 34. The proportion of expenditure on various items by two families A and B are represented in the following bar charts. So two bar charts are given. From these charts, we can conclude that family A spend more money on food than family B. Family B spend more money on food than, so options are asking whether to compare us families A spending on food and families B spending on food. So it is in from the first figure, it is given that 50% of total expenditure is on food. So total expenditure per month is, it is given as 20,000. So 50%. So let me just write that down. 50% of 20,000 is 20,000 by 2, which is 10,000. And B spends 10% on food. So 10%, this is for A, this is for B. 10% of 1 lakh, which is 0.1 into 1 lakh, which is 10,000. So A and B spend equal amounts on food. So family A spend more money on food is wrong. Family B spend more money on food than family A is wrong. Family A and B spend the same amount on food, which is right. So solution to question 34 is option C. Both family A and B spend the same amount on food. Next question, question 35. Usha runs faster than Kamala. Preeti runs slower than Swati. Swati runs slower than Kamala. Who's the slowest runner is the question. So if you see, every person's first alphabet is unique. So we'll represent each name with their first alphabet. So in the first statement, it is given Usha runs faster than Kamala. So that is the first information. Now second is Preeti runs, let's call this one, Preeti runs slower than Swati. So this is 2. And Swati runs slower than Kamala. Slower than Kamala. So with this information, we can build some common, we can combine these three together. So we'll first select second statement using 2 and 3. We have P less than S, and P is less than S, and S is less than K. So S is less than K. So let's call this 4 using 1 and 4. We have P less than S less than K, and K is less than U. So K is less than U. So we have this combined together. So from this, Preeti is the slowest runner. So option B is the correct answer. So one mistake people could make in such question is when you write, say if you know A is less than B, and then we know that B is less than, sorry, C is also less than B. Now in this question, we cannot combine these two statements since we don't know anything about A and C. So A could be greater than C, C could be greater than A. So we cannot say, we cannot combine this into A less than C less than B or something like this. So we should be careful about such combination when we combining, combine statements. We cannot combine statements like this. Here, since P less than S and S less than K, S came here. So K is definitely less than, K is greater than S. So we can write P less than S less than K. So that kind of comparison, combination is possible. So we cannot combine A less than B and C less than B. So we don't know anything about A and C. So just keep that in mind when you combining such statements into one single thing and finding out the answer. So just in this question it doesn't matter, so we can directly find the answer, but I was just giving a tip to use in similar questions, and that is a common mistake students make. So yeah, anyway, question 35, solution is B, Preeti. Moving on to the next question, question 36. Between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., the minute hand of a clock will be ahead of the hour hand by 3 minutes. So 4 options are given. One simple way of solving this is just draw out the figures. So option A will look something like this. So if this is the clock, the hour hand at 6. So I will just I'll just redraw the clock, this circle. So so this is the clock, and 6 o'clock means here, right? So this is 6, and this is 9. So 8 will come somewhere here, 7 will come here, 7, 8, 9. So if you see 6:15, at minute hand will be here. This will be minute hand, and 6:15 means our hand will be somewhere like this. So clearly option A is wrong. So option B, if you see option B, similarly rough figure will do. 6:18 also minute hand will be somewhere like this, and our hand will be somewhere like this. So again, this is not 3 minutes. So option B is also wrong. So if you see option C, at 6:36, this be 6 and this be 7. So at 6:36, halfway, our hand will be almost halfway. So let this be our hand, and 6:36 means this is 30. 6:30. It has crossed here. 6:36, and our hand will be just like this. Okay, just like this. So if you see, it is almost comparable 3 minutes. So this could be a case. Option C is a possibility, and most likely answer is option C. And if you see option D, this is 7 and this is 6. So 6:48 means our minute hand will be somewhere like here, and 48 means minute hand will be somewhere like this. So option D also wrong. So from this you can clearly see option C is the right answer. This is a rough way to do it. You can do it if in the exam hall, whatever is the fastest way, you should do the answer. So this is a possibility. So I'm not so there is a better way or a precise way to solve this question. So that is more better, since what if we were given an option D, 6:38. So if it was given 6:38, it would have been hard to differentiate between 6:36 and 6:38 from this method. So we will not be able to tell the answer. So we have to find the exact answer, which we can use. For that we can use the relative speed concept. So I will just go through the relative speed concept. So I have discussed the concept of relative speed in detail in the previous video. So it is you can check that out. I'll just see which question it is and mention it in at the end of the video. Anyway, if you're familiar with the relative speed concept, it is the relative speed of our hand hour hand is compared to the minute hand is 11 by 2 degrees per minute. So this 11 by 2 is the speed of um, our speed of minute hand is 6 degree per minute, and speed of our hand is 1 by 2 degree per minute. So this will gives you 11 by 2 degree per minute. So if you are not familiar with how this 11 by 2 degree per minute, what is this relative speed and all, um, uh, you please check the previous video. I will tell which question at the end of this video. So anyway, if you understand, if you know this concept 11 by 2 degree per minute, what we need is at 6 exactly our minute hand will be like this and our hand will be like this at 6 o'clock. And if we put the our hand stationary, then the question asks the time it takes to cover this much, where this is our hand, this is 3 minutes. So that is degree wise, if you see, the distance to cover is 180 degree, this 180 degree plus degrees that corresponds to 3 minutes. So in a clock you can you see that, the clock 10 5 10 15, that is 15, each minute is represented by 6 degree. So 90 degrees is represented by 15 minutes, right? So each minute will be represented by 1 minute equal 6 degree. So 6 degree, that is how we get 6 here. The speed of our hand is, in 1 minute it travels 6 degrees. So here 3 minutes is equivalent to 6 into 3, 18 degrees. So in total, when we use the relative speed concept, 180 plus 18, it has to travel 198 degrees. So if the hour hand travels 11 by 2 degrees per minute into x is 198, or x is 198 into 2 by 11. So if you place 18 into 2, which is 36. So 36 minutes it takes to travel 180 degree and 3 minutes. So 180 and 3 minutes, 36 minutes. There is one more possibility where 180 minus 18. So when the hour hand reaches 3 minutes before, if in the question it is clearly mentioned, be ahead of the hour hand by 3 minutes. If it just said the 3 minutes away, two situation would have arisen, like if just 3 minutes, it could be like a minute hand is 3 minutes apart, like this 3 minutes, where this is our hand and this is minute hand. Or it could be like this, where our hand, minute hand, and 3 minutes apart. Since it is not apart, it is clearly said 3 minutes ahead. So this is the only possibility, and 36 minutes is the only answer. So if you see, we started from 6 and 30. In 36 minutes we will reach at this 3 minutes difference. So that means 6 plus 36, 636 is the answer. So this is the precise answer. This is the correct answer that we need. So C is the correct answer. So this is how we solve such questions using relative speed of our hand, relative speed concept. So solution to question 36 is C. So in case if you are not familiar with the relative speed concept, or if you still have doubt in the solution, you can refer question 7. I will just write it down here. Refer question 7 of 2014. So in the previous video, I have solved this CSAT paper of 2014. So in that video you can refer the question number 7, which also deals with this cloak question. So In that video, I have explained what relative speed is and how we can use the concept of relative speed in clock questions in detail. So you can refer this video if you have any doubt. And still, if you have any doubt, please comment under this video. I will try to address it. So yeah. So solution to question 36 is C. Now let's move on to the question 37. There are 5 tasks and 5 persons. Task 1 cannot be assigned to either person 1 or person 2. I'll just mark T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. So this is T1, this is T2, this is T3, T4, T5. So T1 cannot be assigned to 1 and cannot be assigned to 2. Task 2 must be assigned to either person 3 or person 4. So this is 3 or 4. Now every person is to be assigned one task. In how many ways can the assignment be done? So this is the question. This is a classic case where we could use the permutation and combination, and we have some restrictions to permute different kind of combinations in here. So we'll do one thing. We'll fill in each position like we do for permutation questions 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 options. So first, since we have such a requirement that 3 and 4 has to be there in 2, we will just fill in the first position on second position first. So we have 2 options to fill. So we have 2 options here, and if you see 1 and 2 is cannot take up the task T1. So we the options left are 3, 4, 5. And if you see, once we assign T2, out of these 3 options 1 will be gone. So if it is 3, 3 will be gone. 4, if 4 will be gone. So effectively, after assigning T2, we will have only 2 options left to fill T1. So we will have 2 options, either 4 or 5 or 3 or 5. We don't know that, but yeah, 2 options to fill. So once 2 people are filled, now we can fill this position as we want. There is no restriction. So now out of 5 people, 2 are gone. So there is 3 possibility to fill here, 2 possibility left. So once we fill these 3 people, then only 2 possibilities. Then now once we fill 4 people, we have only 1 possibility left. So out of so if you see, this is the total possibilities, and to get the total number of cases, what we do, we just multiply these total possibilities. So it is one after other. So so that is why multiplication comes. So answer is 6. 3 into 2 into 2 4, 4 into 3 12, 12 into 2 24. So 24 cases. So C is the answer, 24. So solution to question 37 is C. So in case if you didn't understand how this multiplication comes, you should try to read and get familiar with the concept of permutation. So there you will understand why there is multiplication here. I'll just explain with a simple example. So let's say we have 5 people and 2 chairs. So in the first chair, the question asks for number of ways you can fill 5 people, make 5 people sit on each chair, and each chair is numbered, say 1 and 2. So how many possibilities are there? So now we have 5 people, so we have 5 choices to make for the chair 1. So once we make the 5 choices, then we are left with 4 people, and we have 4 choices to make for chair 2. So what do you mean by 5 choices to make for chair 1? So in chair 1 we have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. These possibilities we can make 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 sit in chair 1. So once we make that choice randomly, now we go for chair 2. So in chair 2, say we randomly picks 2. So in chair 2, now 2 is gone. So the options left for chair 2 is, after 2 we have 4 options left. 1, either 1 or 3 or 4 or 5. So we have 4 options. So we have 4 options. That is how 4 comes here. So if you see, for each random choice of chair 1, we will have 4 options left. If we have choose like 5 here for the chair 1, then what will be the 4 options? Instead of 1, 3, 4, 5, it will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if 5 was made to sit in chair 1, then the 4 possibilities are 1, 2, 3, 5. So for each number in chair 1, we have 4 cases. So total cases is 5 into 4. So 5 into 4. That is how multiplication comes here. So people who are not familiar with permutation, I understand that the whole concept, finding total number of possibilities and then multiplying and all, becomes too intimidating. So don't worry, this is a very simple concept. If you are not familiar with permutation, just go and read what permutation and combination is, and how the formulas in permutation and combinations are formed. And if even after that, if you have some doubts, or if you need better understanding of some concept, just comment under this video and I will try to address it. So solution to question 37 is C, 24. Next question, question 38. The monthly incomes of Peter and Paul are in the ratio 4:3. Their expenses are in the ratio 3:2. If each saves 6,000 at the end of the month, their monthly incomes respectively are. So it is given the income ratios are 4:3. So let's assume the total income is 4x and 3x, so that the ratio is in 4:3 format. Okay, so it is 4x and 3x. Now similarly, let their expenses be 3y and 2y. Okay, so 3y and 2y. So if this is the case, we if this is, let me say, this is Peter's and this is Paul's. Peter's is to Paul's. That is what we are writing. So it is given each saves 6,000 at the end. So what is 6,000? 4x is the income of Peter and 3y is the expenditure of Peter. So 4x minus 3y is the savings Peter has done, which is given as 6,000. Is also given Paul also has 6,000 saving. That means Paul's 3x income minus Paul's 2y expenditure is equal to 6,000. So we have two equation and two variables. So what we need to find out is their monthly income, that is x. We are interested in x value, we are not interested in y. So we will eliminate y from this. So multiplying throughout with 2. So let's call this 1, 2. So 2 into 1 gives 8x minus 6y equal to 12,000. And similarly, 3 into 2 gives 9x minus 6y equal to 18,000. So if you subtract, let's call this 3 and 4. So 4 minus 3 gives x is equal to 6y cancels, 18 minus 12 is 6,000. So income of Peter and Peter is 4x, which is 4x equal to 24,000. Peter's income, and Paul's income is 3x. So 6,000 into 3, which is 18,000. So 24,000 and 18,000. So A is the correct answer. Monthly income of Peter and Paul. So monthly, so their monthly income is 24,000 and 18,000 respectively. Solution to question 38 is A. Next question, question 39. Two cities A and B are 360 kilometer apart. A car goes from, so I'll just draw the figure as I read the question. So A, B, 360 kilometers apart. And a car goes from A to B with a speed of 40 km per hour and returns to A with a speed of 60 km per hour. What is the average speed of the car? So this distance was covered by 40 km per hour, and this distance covered by 60 km per hour. So average speed can be found out by using the formula distance traveled by time. So here if we travel, so we have t1 and t2. T1 is the time traveled, time taken to travel from A to B, and T2 is the time taken from B to A. So if you see that T1 is 360 distance by speed 40, so we get 9 hours. So T2 is similarly 360 by 60, so we get 6 hours. So this formula becomes distance by time. So distance is 360 plus 360 by T1 plus T2. T1 plus T2, which is 720 by 9 plus 6, 15. So you get, you cut by 3, 144. So again, 4 into 3, 12, 24, 8. So 48. Solution is B, 48 km per hour. So average speed can be found out by total distance traveled by time taken. Total distance is A to B 360 plus B to A 360. So that's how this 360 is A to B and this 360 is B to A. So and time taken, we assume T1 and T2. We separately found out T1 and T2 and applied the formula to get 48 km per hour. The solution to question 39 is B, 48 km per hour. Moving on to the next question, question 40. Direction for the following two items. Read the following passage and answer the two items that follow. A, B, C, D, E, and F are cousins. No two cousins are of the same age, but all have birthdays on the same day of the same month. The youngest is 17 years old and the oldest E is 22 years old. F is somewhere between B and D in age. A is older than B, C is older than D, A is 1 year older than C. So some information is given. We'll first arrange them in top-down fashion. 1, 2, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now this is the oldest to bottom. So we know that the oldest person is 22 and the youngest is 17. And we'll start filling in the information. First one, the oldest person is E. So we got our first person, E. Is 22 years old. Now it is given F is somewhere between B and D in age. So we have something like BFD. We don't know whether it is B is older or D is older. So we just know BFD. It has to be somewhere like something like BFD. So there can be people between them also. That all we don't know. So we'll just hold it like that. Now A is older than B. So we'll just A is older than B and C is older than D. C is older than D. So B, B, A has to come in the top of B and C has to come on the top of D. Okay. Then A is 1 year older than C. So we got one more information. So since A is 1 year older, so if you see it is since 17 to 22, these people's age should be like this, 19, 20, 21. So there is no other possibility since they all have different years as birthday. The only possibility is this. They don't have the same year. So same age, they don't have the same age, so it has to be like this. Now since we have A is 1 year older than C, A and C has to come like this as a block. So somewhere A and C has to come. So we'll see where. So if A's age is 20, then someone has to come above A, right? So if we fill A here, then someone has to occupy above A. So we already know that B is less than A, so B cannot come here. And now C is greater than D, so D also cannot come here, as C is older than D. So B and D cannot come here. What does that mean? Then the only option left is F. If you take F should come between B and D. So that will if F comes here, the condition that it is between B and D fails. So F also cannot come here. So B, D, F cannot come here. So A cannot be at this 20th age. So A has to be here and C has to be here. So AC we filled up. So now we have three options, three area left. Now since we know that F is between B and D, one possibility is BFD. So nothing in the given information prevents us from having this arrangement also. We may also have the arrangement E, A, C. These three are fixed. Now here we can make some rearrangement. Let it be D, F, and B. This arrangement can also be there, since all we know is F is between B and D. And this case 1 and case 2. In both these cases, F is between B and D. So these two are possible two cases. We don't know which one is the correct case, because there is no other information. We have used all the information and it matches. In both these cases, A is greater than B and C is greater than D. So all those conditions matches. C is just A is just 1 year older than C. So all the given condition matches. So these two possible cases will be there. So now we will solve the problem. I'll just copy this so that we can use it in the questions. Okay, so we'll go to question 40. Which one of the following is possible? So we have two cases with us. If you see, they are asking D is 20 years old. So in the first case, D is 17 years old. In the second case, D is 19 years old. So that cannot be an answer. So A is not an answer. F is 18 years old. In both cases, F is 18 years old. So we can say option B is correct. Option B is correct. F is 19 years old is wrong. F is 20 years old is wrong. So solution to question 40 is B. We will go to next question. Just paste it here. Okay, now the question asks, what is the number of logically possible orders of all 6 cousins in terms of increasing age? So as we have seen, only 2 cases are possible. Like this is the increasing orders, increasing age order in terms of increasing age. So 2 cases are possible. So correct answer is B. Solution to question 41 is B2. Next question 42. In a society, it is customary for friends of the same sex to hug and for friends of opposite sex to shake hands when they meet. A group of friends met in a party and there were 24 handshakes. Which one among the following numbers indicate the possible number of hugs? So this is quite complicated question. It involves the concept of combinations and figuring out a lot of options. So if you don't, if you're short in time, you can skip this question. This will definitely takes more than 2-3 minutes, 2 minutes at least. So we'll just try. Anyway, we'll first figure out the formula for number of hugs and uh, handshakes in this case. Let M be number of male people and W be number of woman. Okay, number of women. So if there is M and W women, it is said a group of friends met in a party and there were 24 handshakes. So handshake is given by a friend, a friends of opposite sex. So there is male and there is woman. So okay, I will do one thing. Sorry, I will, instead of woman, it makes more sense to write female. Okay. So M and F are number of males and number of females. So if there has to be two people for handshake, right? One has to be from opposite sex. So number of ways one person can be selected from M males is M, and number of ways another person from the opposite sex can be selected is F, since there are F females. So total number of handshake is given as 24. So M into F is 24. That is the equation. So this is one information given. Now what about number of hugs? So it is said two people from the same sex, when they meet, hugs. So what are the how many ways can we select two people from M, and how many ways can we select two people from F? So it is MC2. In MC2 ways we can select two people from M. So these MC2 ways, uh, in all those combination, people hug each other. Similarly, in FC2 ways, the two people, we select two people from female, and all those combinations, in all those combinations people hug each other. So say I will just explain it with a simple example. Say there are 3 male people and 3 female people. So let's that be different, 4 female people. So if you select two people from this female group, say 3, if they are number 1 2 3, we can either select 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, or 1 and 3. These are the only combinations possible, right? Selecting 3 people, if the order doesn't matter. So these 3 groups hugs each other. And similarly for if we are numbering A B C D, we can select A and B, AC or AD. Similarly we can select BC, BD or CD. So we can select such groups in 4C2 ways, or 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So we get 2 into 3, 6 ways, which is this 1 2 3 4 5 6. These are the 6. In these 6 group, AB hug each other, BC hug each other, AC hug each other, AD hug similarly all these people hug each other. So this is how hugging happens in this, when in the party. So so the general equation is MC2 plus FC2. So if you see what is MC2 into FC2, so M into M minus 1 by 2 into 1. Similarly, F into F minus 1 by 2 into 1. Or we can say half into, we don't need that. Okay, this will be enough. This is the equation. M into M minus 1 plus F into F minus 1 by 2. So we, instead of 2 into 1, it's 2. Okay. Anyway, so now we have to see, the question asks which one among the following numbers indicates the possible number of hugs. So since we have two unknowns and no equations, only one equation like this, M into F equal to 24, we can definitely we cannot find the values for M and F for sure. So we have to see all the possible combinations. So from this M into F, we will write out all the combination. For M equal to 1, F should be, to get 24, we should be 24. This is one combination. Second combination is 2 into 12. Third combination is 3 into 3 into 8, 4 into 6, 5. It doesn't come. Now if you see, we have to see these are the combinations for M and F. So since this equation is symmetric, the total combinations will be, if you see, 6 into 4 will be there, similarly 8 into 3 will be there, 12 into 2 will be there, and 24 into 1 will be there. So we don't have to check these formulas. Since M and F, the equation in M and F are symmetric, we just need to check these four options and see whether any of this matches. So we'll check one by one. Let's put M equal to 1. So that becomes 1 into 0. So this term cancels. So we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4 to avoid confusion. So in 1 into 0 by 2 into 1 plus F 24. So 24 into 23 by 2. So which becomes 12 into 23 is a huge number. So 1 doesn't fit any of this answer. So that is not the answer. So we will check 2. 2 is 2 into 12. So 2 into 1 by 2 plus 12. 12 into 11 by 2. So here 6. 66 66 plus 1, 67, which is not in the options. So 2 is also not the answer. So now we will check 3 into 8. So 3 into 2 by 2 into 1. I'm just applying different M values and F values in this equation, nothing more. So F3 case 8. So 8 into 7 by 2 into 1. So 2 cancel, 3, 2, 4. So here 7 into 4 is 28. 28 plus 3, which gives 31. Which is, we don't have 31 here. We have 30, but there is no 31. So 3 is now also not the answer. Now we will check 4. 4 is 4 and 6. So 4 into 3 by 2 into 1 plus 6 into 5 by 2 into 1. So 2, 3. So 15 plus 6, which is 21. So we have a 21 here. So option C is the correct answer. So we got our answer for question 42, option C. So in this, we have used the concept of combination here to find the total number of hugs possible. We used MC2 plus FC2, which is the selecting 2 male people and plus selecting 2 female people. This combination, if you are not familiar, please read combination and permutation section. No, that portion will come in handy in a lot of questions. So in case if you want me to do a separate video on permutation and combination, do comment on it. I will try to do a video who is very who don't know the permutation and combination concepts and formulas. So this question, the question which demands good knowledge of combination and permutation doesn't come often in the exam. Even if it comes like this, you can leave the question if you are not very sure. So this is a time-consuming question for sure. Anyway, this is the solution. Solution to question 42 is C, 21. Next question, question 43. 2 men, Anil and David, and 2 women, Shabnam and Rega, are in a sales group. Only 2 speak Tamil, the other 2 speak Marathi. So I'll just write down their names. So since everyone's first letter is unique, I will just write down their first letter. A, D are the males, and the two females are Shabnam and Rega. Okay. Now uh, only two speak Tamil. Only two people speak Tamil. So two people speaks Marathi. Only one man and one woman can drive a car. Shabnam speak Marathi. So it is given. Shabnam speaks Marathi. Now Anil speaks Tamil. So it is given. Anil speaks Tamil. So someone among the D and R, one of the person speaks Tamil, other person speaks Marathi. Now both Rega and David can drive. So it is given drive. So this person cannot drive. This person cannot drive. Okay. Now it is both Rega and now which one of the following statement is true? Both the Tamil speakers can drive a car. It's clearly Anil is a Tamil speaker and cannot drive a car. So this is false. Both Marathi speakers can drive a car. This Shabnam is a Marathi speaking person and cannot drive a car. So this is a statement, false statement. Both of those who can drive a car speak Marathi. So one of this D and R speaks Tamil. We don't know who, but one person. These two are the people. That is David and the Rega are the people who drives, and one of them is Tamil. So one of them is Tamil. So option C is wrong. So one of those who can drive a car speaks Tamil. Yeah, that is true. Either this David is Tamil or Marathi. Similarly, Rega is Tamil or Marathi. One has to be Tamil speaking. So that is true. So option D is the correct answer. Solution to question 43 is D. Next question, question 44. In a plane, line X is perpendicular to line Y. So we will just draw that. Sorry. Let this be line X, and we will draw a perpendicular line to line Y. So this be a perpendicular line. So it's 90 degree perpendicular. Now it is given and parallel to line Z. So we will draw one line randomly. Let this be Z. So X is parallel to Z and X is perpendicular to Y. Okay, now line U is perpendicular to both lines V and W. Since we don't have any such, we'll just write U is perpendicular to V and W here. So that means V and W are parallel. Now it is given line X is perpendicular to line V. So we have some connection. Line X is perpendicular to line V. So we will draw one line V which is perpendicular to X. And it is given U is perpendicular to V and W. So V and W are parallel lines. We will draw one more line. So this is W. And U is perpendicular to both. So we will just draw line. This is U. Now U is perpendicular to both V and W. So this is the line overall. Now which one of the following statement is correct? Z, U and W. Z U are parallel, but W is perpendicular. So option A is not correct. X, V and Y are parallel. X, V are perpendicular. So that option is wrong. Z, V and U are all perpendicular. Z, V and U. Z and U are parallel and V is perpendicular. So that 3 cannot be perpendicular to W. So V and W are parallel. So that is wrong. So Y, V, W are parallel. So if you see Y, V, W, or both, all three are parallel lines. So option D is correct. So solution to question 44 is option D. Next question, question 45. A cow costs more than 4 goats but less than 5 goats. So you can write cow cost more than 4 goats and cow cost less than 5 goats. So if a goat if a goat costs between 600 and 800, which one of the following is the most valid conclusion? So between 600 and 800 means here this becomes 6 into 4 is 2400 and 800 means this cow cost between this and 6 into 500 is 3000 and 8 into 5 is 4000. So between this range, so cow lies between these two range. So if you see if we pick the smaller value and higher value, we can clearly say it is between this range for sure. So if we can say 2400 to 4000 is the range cow can have. I hope you understood. Since I'll just one more time explain. See, since cow is greater than 4 goats, and goats value ranges between 600 and 800. When we put 600 to 4 G here, that is 4 into 600 gives 2400 and 4 into 800 gives 3200. So when the goat's value is 600, cow is greater than 2400, and when goat's value is 800, the highest value goat can have, then cow will be we can say cow is greater than 3200. But if we say C is greater than 2400, that will be true for all cases. C is greater than 2400 is an inclusive case, which includes this also. So C is greater than 2400 is a inclusive case. Similarly, if we C is less than 5G, when we apply 600 to 5G, we get 3000, and when we apply 600 to G here, we will get 4000. So so this is the range. So if we pick 4000 and say C is less than 4000, it is an inclusive statement. So it even for 3000, since 3000 is cow's value is less than 3, if we say instead C is less than 3000, then the values between 3000 and 4000 is not included in this condition. So it is not inclusive condition. So C is less than 4000 is the most inclusive statement. So C greater than 2400 and C less than 4000 is the proper range. So if you look at the option, a cow costs between 2400 and 4000 is there. So option D is the correct answer to question 45. Moving on to the next question, question 46. A society consists of only two types of people, fighters and cowards. Two cowards are always friends. A fighter and a coward are always enemies. Fighters are indifferent to one another. If A and B are enemies, C and D are friends. So we'll just mark. So we'll mark the given information. A and B are enemies. We'll denote enemies with a cross sign. And we have C and D are friends. So since only possibility of two people becoming friends are they are both cowards. So they are both so I'll just write both cowards. So coward and coward. Okay. C and D are cowards. Now E and F are indifferent to each other. So that means that only possibility is they are both fighters. So fighter. Okay. Now it is given. If A and B are enemies, one of them has to be a fighter and one of them has to be a coward. So we don't know which one. So it is given. A and E are not enemies. So a fighter, it is given a fighter and a coward are always enemies. So A cannot be, since E is a fighter, since A and E are not enemies, A cannot be an enemy. So A is a fighter. So since fighter and enemies has to be coward. B is a coward. So while B and F are enemies. So yeah, B is a coward and F is a fighter. So B and F are enemies. So this is the given information. Now which one of the following statement is correct? B, C and F are cowards. B, C, F is a fighter. So that is a wrong statement. A, E, F are fighters. A is a fighter, E is a fighter and F is a fighter. So that is a correct statement. B is the correct answer. So C and D are wrong. We will just check. B and E are in the same category. B and E are not in the same category, covered and fighter. A and F are in different categories. A is a fighter and F is a fighter. So they are in the same category. So this is also wrong statement. So B is the correct answer. Solution to question 46 is B. A, E, F and F are fighters. Next question 47. In a box of marbles, there are 3 less white marbles than the red ones. So we will write white marbles, number of white marbles, let it be W, then it is given. There are 3 less white marbles than the red ones. So R minus 3. And 5 more white marbles than the green ones. So W is equal to G plus 5. It is given. Where R is the number of red marbles and G is the number of green marbles. So if there are total of 10 white marbles, so it is given W is equal to 10. Okay. How many marbles are there in the box? So we need to find R. R is equal to W plus 3. So 10 plus 3, 13. And green is equal to W minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. So the sum is 28. So there are total W plus R plus G marbles equal to 28. Our correct option is B, 28. Solution to question 47 is B, 28. Next question, question 48. Candidates in a competitive examination consisted of 60% men and 40% women. So let's assume totally there were 100 students. So out of this, 60% were women and 40% were 60% were men and 40% were women. Now 70% men and 75% women cleared the qualifying test. So in first stage, so 70%, so 0.7 into 60, which is 42. Similarly 75%, 75% women, which is 3/4, that is 30. 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 into 40. So 75% is 3/4. So 10, 30. 30%, 30 women qualified, cleared the qualification test. Now out of this, 80% women, 80% men entered the were successful. So who entered the qualifying test, 80% men were successful. So 42, 0.8 into 42 we have to multiply. So 42 into 8 is 16, 32, 33.6. So 33.6% or 33.6 people qualified among men, and 70%, 0.7 into 3, which is 21 women were successful at the end. So let's check the statement. Which of the following statement is correct? Success rate is higher for women. So to calculate success rate, we have to first compare it with the total number. So it is 21 by 40. So here it is 33.6 by 60. So if you say success rate is higher for women, it's not true. Success rate is higher for men here. Let me just 1 second. This is approximately 56%, and this is approximately 52%. So success rate is not higher for men. So it's not higher for women, it is higher for men. So we don't have to find it. We will just look at the other option. If you you can just seeing this, if it is 20, it is 50 percentage, so it's slightly above 50 percentage. And here it is slightly, if it was 30, it is 60 percentage. So it is also slightly above 50 percentage, but little bit more. So that is there. Anyway, if we without calculate, if it is too much to calculate, just look at the other options. Overall success rate is below 50 percentage, which is false. So we know the overall success rate for women is 50, above 50 percentage, since it is greater than 20, and here it is greater than 30, so it is also above 50 percentage. So overall success rate is also above 50 percentage. If just take the sum, otherwise 21 plus 33 is 54 point something, so it is above 50 percentage. So this is overall success rate is below 50 percentage is a false statement. So next, more men cleared the examination than women. That is clear. It is 33.6 people, and here it is only 21. So this is a correct option. So without checking other options, we can right away write C as the correct solution for 48. So both A and B are above or correct. B is obviously wrong, so D is also false. So success rate is higher for women can be eliminated by checking option C. So C is definitely correct. So we just found out it is 33 plus 21. 33.6 plus 21 is 54.6, so greater than 50 percentage. And overall success rate is below 50 percentage is wrong. So so we can say C is the correct answer. Solution to question 48 is C. So this is the last question in this video. So we have completed all question except for the comprehensive type of question that came in CSAT this year 2015. So I hope this video was helpful to all, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to comment under this video. I will try to address it in next videos, or I will do a separate video for it if it's needed. Okay, now next video will be the solution to CSAT questions that came in year 2016. So okay, thank you. I hope everyone will find this video helpful. Thank you.